Chapter 3131. Seal. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance was the #1 freedom alliance recognized by the absolute beginning divine realm. Seal the space and time around the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's secret lair? This Long Lu could do it, but he did not have the guts to do it. What are you afraid of? It's just sealing the space and time around it. It's not like you're going to attack the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's mystic realm directly. Even if the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance is dissatisfied, you can say that you're doing this because you want to kill a person who committed a heinous crime. After you kill that person, the space and time seal will naturally be lifted. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance won't kill you in a rage. Elder Xian Wu sent a message. But Long Lu was still hesitant. Humph, how dare you disobey my order? Elder Zimwa's voice was suddenly stunning. Long Lu was stunned. He knew that Elder Xinwu was already very dissatisfied with him because of Chu Yixio's death. If he disobeyed Elder Xian Wu's order at this time, he might very likely kill him directly. Long Lu had no choice but to nod and agree. In the void ahead, Jian Wushuang indeed headed toward the secret nest of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Not long after, the mystic realm appeared in front of him. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate and directly rushed into the nest. He really came to this mystic realm. Long Lu's face darkened, and then he immediately began to set up a magic array in the surrounding void. In the lair, Jian Wushuang came to the counter. Hand in the task. Jian Wushuang took out his identity token. A brown-haired elder at the counter looked up at Jian Wushuang, took the token, and nodded slightly. Soon the task was handed over. Jian Wushuang also received his reward, and was about to turn around. Huh! The brown-haired old man's face suddenly darkened. How dare you? The brown-haired old man shouted in a low voice, but he had already rushed out. In the void outside the mystic realm, Long Lu had finished setting up the magic array. The time and space around the mystic realm had been sealed. After being sealed, the people in the void could communicate with the outside world. However, the space passage could no longer be used. Whoosh! The brown-haired old man's figure suddenly appeared in the void, and appeared in front of Long Lu. Who are you? How dare you seal the space and time around the secret lair of our Heaven-Cleaving Alliance? The brown-haired old man shouted in a low voice. Looking at the brown-haired old man, Long Lu was shocked. The aura emitted by the brown-haired old man had reached the level of a rank 6 true saint, and it was at the peak of the rank 6. Taking a deep breath, Long Lu said humbly, I am the deacon of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, Long Lu. I have orders to seal this space-time temporarily. Orders? Orders from the Purple Cloud Pavilion? Isn't your Purple Cloud Pavilion a little too unscrupulous? You even dare to seal the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's lair directly. The person who accepted the task voice called Dao Dragon. No, I just heard of him. Purple Cloud Pavilion has no intention of going against the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, even if they are tied together. It's just that we happen to be chasing after a little thief. Who just happened to escape his eyebrows. In order to prevent him from escaping, old man was so confident, we had no choice but to resort to the expert named Dao Dragon. As long as we find and kill that little thief, my young friend, I will immediately Lord Dao Dragon has already set off and is rushing here. Moreover, he said that he will be here in my Purple Cloud Pavilion. The brown-haired old man rushing over right now. 10 days. When the time comes, Jian Wushuang could not help but smile. I also need a few days to absorb the Divine Alliance's members personally. When I refine all of them and reach the peak of rank 4. Or the brown-haired elder narrowed his eyes. My strength will be even stronger. He had been in the first heaven for many years, so he knew all the experts in the first heaven. 3137. The heart shaman of the Purple Cloud Pavilion definitely during these 10 days, and he was not intrigued attracted to the divine power. What is the name of the person you had no intention and his divine power had reached the limit. After all, his name is Heavenly Sword Cloud for Lord Dao Dragon. Shaman could not directly reach the nest. The two of them did not learn the name of Heavenly Sword teleport. However, at a table beside them, Prince had a long handsome man to get drinking alone in the space-time, so it was not difficult for Xian Wu. Give me a list of other 6 experts. Heavenly Sword long-haired handsome man. The brown-haired elder narrowed his eyes. His voice was a little hoarse. At this moment, he was in a single room. Lord Dao Dragon over this is the list you asked for. My young friend, passing the people in the Purple Heavens Pavilion and entering the nest in front. And remember, regarding the time and space, few experts from the Purple Cloud Pavilion the long-haired Alliance's realm. Although he was very respectful, a white they did not have the courage to restrict the freedom of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. I saw one of the Emperor level tasks passage. The Heaven Cleaving Alliance's experts were allowed to enter of the Purple Heaven the heart shamans and following long-haired handsome man so the Purple Heaven Pavilion would certainly warrant expression. However, the heart shamans had already seen the person Purple Heaven Pavilion and knew his identity. Green-clothed woman actually came to his face the passage. I hope he is just passing by of the Heaven and has none the latter also accepted. I have reported what happened was originally a single mission, but the heart shaman said they would ask for your opinion. Complete it. If you find it troublesome, heavenly mark the Heaven Cleaving Alliance will come out directly. Lord Dow Dragon, Lord Dow Dragon level member, since you've already accepted this mission, the Heaven Cleaving Alliance according to the request of the Lord Dow Dragon Alliance to come out. You need to Heaven Cleaving Alliance at the same time. He raised his head to observe Lord Dow Dragon. Space-time had a slender figure and long hair that reached his waist. Directly used his narrow eyes. The reason why he was humble, therefore, is that Lord Dow Dragon different order as if he had nothing to do with the world. How could someone from his superior ask for Jian Wuxuang's extreme green clear? Just this alone showed that Jian Wuxuang's identity was extraordinary. Although Jian, it's better for me to solve the problem by myself. I want the Heaven Cleaving Alliance woman for the time she sent the message. The long-haired handsome pressure was not comparable to the pressure from the principal space matter. It was very close. Even if the Purple Heaven Pavilion friend extraordinary, someone has already accepted the alliance and is rushing here. When I entered the nest, brown-haired elder I found 5-6 of course. Even if the Heaven Cleaving Alliance doesn't enter world lit up, Dow Dragon only been half of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance said that no matter how bold the Purple Heaven Pavilion are, it seems that the reward 7 billion holy elixirs was very attractive. You can rest assured about who accepted the mission. Going out, does he have the ability to fight against the mind right now? Nodded slightly. The white-robed man and Dow Dragon nodded slightly. Your task after the white-robed man laughed stated that you must make out members of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance. The mind tokens belonged to emotion. They had noticed the Heaven Cleaving Alliance that he naturally finally going out, so he personally sent a message to him. I thought he would hide the other part of the Heaven. I didn't expect him to dare to go out. It's impossible for that person beside him, but just as he refused emotion, someone else immediately sent him a message. What a joke! This time, Lord Dow Dragon. It was Jiu Luo who sent him fight with my own eyes. Jiu Luo was also a friend of Jian Wuxuang with terrifying strength. They had talked about the communication token rumors that he's infinitely close to being invincible. I heard that you are in trouble. It's him. No wonder Heavenly Sword Marquis dared to walk out. Jian Wuxuang was surprised. That he invited Lord Dow Dragon to support him. It was Lord Baiju who told me. The entire hall was abuzz with discussion. Lord Baiju. While they were discussing, Jian Wuxuang's expression also began to look forward to it. Lord Baiju. One had to know that master from the Dao Palace of the Purple Cloud had offered him a very attractive condition to join the Dao Palace for a full 90 years. Lord Baiju knew that you were in trouble, had been sealing off but he didn't have your communication token. One could imagine how much they wanted to kill the Heavenly Sword you a message on his behalf. Previously, they had all thought that the Heavenly Sword Marquis could only hide in this Exchange nest. Master Baiju asked if you need help. However, if you need help, Sword Marquis he will come forward Lord and guarantee that the Purple Cloud Pavilion won't dare to take a look. On one side are the 6 experts of Purple Cloud Pavilion led by Heart Shaman, refused the and on the other side is the famous Lord Dao Long. And now Baiju the clash again. Between the two sides is really Jian exciting. Wuxuang was also surprised by Dao Palace's members in the nest. Also it was normal for the higher-ups of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance to know that he was outside the nest, because he was in the mystic realm and the others have been watching the movement in the nest. However, suddenly, Baiju was a member of Dao flew out of the nest, so he already knew about it. One of them was Heavenly Sword the power Marquis, of the 3 Freedom Alliances had been waiting in for the divine beginning world. He's out. Was not to be underestimated. Jiu Luo, thanks finally willing to come out. Tell him that I thank him and the others were very excited. As for this trouble, I can handle it myself. Of course, he saw Jian Wuxuang. But at the same time, careful. He also saw the long-haired handsome man next to Jian Wuxuang. Then interrupted the transmission. Dao Long, Jian Wuxuang really the guy who asked for smiled. Then he set off for Treasure Pavilion, shouted coldly, outside the nest of the void. This has nothing to do with you, several people have now joined with the dragon egret. Hearing this name, in front of them is the brown-haired old man. 6 true saints of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. The Heaven Cleaving Alliance Dao Dragon was a very famous name in the first heaven, and the Heavenly Sword under normal circumstances. However, there is one thing: 7 true saints would have heard of the other members of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance, and the others were only rank 6 true saints. Do not make a move in the lair of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance. Dao Dragon. Otherwise, This was because Dao Dragon had interacted with the Purple Pavilion more than once. After the brown-haired old man finished speaking, Dao Dragon had once fought head-on with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Long Lu, the Purple Cloud Pavilion, stood there with extremely strange expressions on their faces to surround and kill Dao Dragon. Alliance is actually ignoring this matter. Dao Dragon had escaped, ignoring it, and even the Invincible Saint they allowed us to seal the space-time. Unfortunately, it seems like that's the case. Although the Invincible Saint could suppress Dao Dragon, since when did the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance become so easy to talk to? Even the Invincible Saint had personally made a move, and the others were very confused, but he was not able to kill Dao Dragon. He had thought that the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance would definitely only the Principal's master personally made a move teach them a lesson and could kill Dao Dragon. Kill them. However, even if they did not do anything, status did the Principal's master ask them to remove if the space-time blockade around them. But in the end, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance did not do that. Because of this, instead, Dao Dragon they let them still be alive and well. Ignored this matter. Moreover, it's because a little of the strange enmity but the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance doesn't Dao care Dragon about this matter. To trouble the Purple Cloud Pavilion from time to time. The bald old man, this time, Dao Dragon was wearing a black robe with a round collar, not only because of the reward of 7 billion holy elixirs, although the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance doesn't intend to interfere in this matter. They also warned us not to make a move in the nest. Saints might be afraid of the Purple Cloud Pavilion Marquis hides would not in the nest all the time. But Dao Dragon was not afraid to him. This matter has nothing to do with me. That Heavenly Sword Marquis issued an Emperor-level mission. However, according to what you said, Heavenly Sword Marquis is only a rank is your Purple Cloud Pavilion. Yet he was able to kill my disciple head-on. Dao Dragon's voice talent is bound to be shocking. The Heart Shaman's expression sank. If such a super genius is trapped here by us all the time, you are the Heart Shaman, right? Then it will be very difficult for him to truly display within the Purple Cloud Pavilion. This is definitely not what he wants. You are even more difficult to deal with than an ordinary think of a way to come out from inside. Today, we don't have to experience it. As long as the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance doesn't chase us away before waving his hand. We'll wait outside the mystic realm. Xian Wu's eyes were cold. Chapter 31 was filled with shocking killing intent. A large amount of majestic divine power, and he was the favorite among his disciples. And in the blink of an eye, now that Chu Wuxia was killed by GM divine power, he would definitely find ways to avenge Chu Wuxia. Even if he had to stay outside the nest for thousands of years. The Heart Shaman snorted coldly, the heart which had already made up her mind fog immediately was waiting outside from his body. This fog was incomparably black, and it also emitted a foul stench. Arrived at the treasure in the blink of an eye, Lord Tinsua, the two experts had already engaged in the golden light in front of him. There was no fierce collision of power, or even a violent roar. Lord Tiansuo's expression was still cold, caused by the continuous erosion and compression of energy. Jian Wuxuang directly took out a universe crystal, and the others had already retreated. Gave him a total of 10 universe crystals. No one dared to get involved in the fierce battle between Dao Dragon and the Mind Gold-splitting secret manual. Dao Dragon is obviously much stronger than the Heart to exchange for the second one. The Heart, which has no chance to fight at all, is worth 7. What's next? 5 billion holy elixirs. Eyes turned slightly cold as he stared at the 5 experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. He had exchanged 7. 5 billion holy elixirs for universe crystals. Long Lu and the other 5 saw Jian Wuxuang had taken out many experts and collected many resources the rising battle intent from Jian Wuxuang. He had killed nearly planning to do. True Saint experts, only a rank 3 including divine level 4. Does he want to fight with us? More than a dozen experts. Who cares? Including Chu he wants to die during the Great War. Many of these experts were powerful and had a lot of wealth. Killing intent was shocking. It should be about 4 billion holy and directly charged toward Jian Wuxuang. 5 billion and 4 billion. That was a large amount of dark airflow soared into the sky. With such a huge amount of holy elixirs, held the long black stick in his hand naturally burst out his divine power to the limit needed in the treasure pavilion. When he appeared in front of Jian Wuxuang, an hour passed in the blink of an eye. The long black stick in his hand. Jian Wuxuang had used up all of the 11. Was like a huge 5 billion holy elixirs. Crashing toward Jian Wuxuang with a rumble. For a special secret manual Jian Wuxuang smiled indifferently. Reincarnation 90 years ago, which was worth 4 billion holy elixirs. At that time, 9 Serenity's reincarnation strategy was similar to gold-splitting secret manual in nature. A trace of gold-splitting secret manual was left behind by a powerful pitch-black longstaff was about to hit his head. Dissected the space-time principles. Suddenly attacked. It was very extremely terrifying evil aura to comprehend the space-time principles. This evil aura was enough to make ordinary cultivators tremble in fear. Was also left behind by the principles with one hand. Which the Blood Mountain sword had already turned into a bolt of blood-red lightning. 9 Serenity's reincarnation strategy longstaff in an instant. The reincarnation it was principles. The peerless sword technique. There were only 2 parts of the 9 Serenity's reincarnation strategy. Clang. Jian Wuxuang the sound of metal colliding rang out. Part, and
Long
spent
Lu's
a total
body
of
shook
4 billion
violently.
holy elixirs.
How is this possible?
Although these 4 billion
Long Lu
holy
raised his head in
elixirs were
shock.
extremely valuable,
The next moment,
his
Jian
body
Wuxia
shot
knew
backward
that
like
the
a
9
cannonball.
serenities
While
reincarnation
retreating,
strategy
he kept
would
rolling,
definitely be of great
and it
help
took him
to
a
him
long
in
time to
comprehending
regain
some
his balance.
rules.
There was
It would
also
not
a
be
trace
less
of blood at the
than
corner
the
of his
comprehension
mouth,
of time and
a rank
space
4
from the
gold-splitting
true
secret
saint.
manual.
And at the peak of rank 4,
Subsequently,
Long
Jian
Lu
Wuxia
stared
spent
at
a
Jian
total of
Wuxia
3
in
billion
disbelief.
holy elixirs
90
to
years
exchange
ago,
for the sword
when he
principal
fought with
trial
Jian
tower of
Wuxia,
the Black Grade,
Jian Wuxia's divine
had
power aura was
experienced the sword
obviously at the
principal
level of
trial
an
tower
ordinary
before
rank 3 true
in his
saint.
previous life.
But now, he had
met
reached
a
the
super
peak of the
expert in
rank
sword
4 true
principal
saint.
Di-Shursan.
His realm,
Di-Shursan had thought of a way to let him cultivate
in the sword
Moreover,
principal trial
he had
tower
reached the
for
limit of a
1,000
rank
years.
4 true saint.
During
How
that
could
1,000
Jian
years,
Wuxia's attack be
Jian
so
Wuxia
powerful?
had opened a new
After
door
all,
to the sword
he was
principle.
a genuine rank 6
The reason
true
why
saint.
he was able to
At that
improve
moment,
his sword
he had
principle
used all of
so
his
quickly
strength
was
and
definitely
used the
related to
strongest
the
move
1,000
he had
years.
created.
In this life, especially
But in
now
the
that
end,
he had stepped
was
into
directly
the first
confronted
heaven,
by Jian
he knew
Wuxia.
that the sword
He had
principal
been
trial
sent flying
tower
by a sword
that
in his
Di-Shursan
divine
had
body
given
had
him
been seriously
before was
injured.
only the lowest
How could
level.
this be?
It was
Not
not
only
only
Long
prepared
Lu,
for some
but
people
also
who
the
had
4
just
rank
entered
6
the
peak
sword
true
principle
saints
from
the
the
Black
Purple
Grade
Cloud
Sword
Pavilion,
Principal Trial
and all
Tower,
the members
that
of the
Jian
Heaven-Cleaving
Wuxia
Alliance
had
who
exchanged
had come
for
out of the
specially
lair to watch
prepared
the
for
show
some
were shocked
powerful
by this
immortal
scene.
saints.
A rank
As
4
long
true
as they were
saint
good
had
at
sent a
sword
rank 6
principle,
true saint
they could
flying
use
with a
it
sword.
from a rank 1
Not
true
only
saint
that,
to a rank
but
7
the divine
true saint.
power of the rank
Jian
6
Wuxia
true
could
saint
also
was
use this
obviously
sword
weakened.
principal trial
Apparently,
tower to
his
improve
divine
his
body was
understanding of
severely
sword
injured in the
principle,
collision,
and to hone his
and he used his
swordsmanship.
divine power to repair it. A
Chapter
single strike severely
31-33.
injured a rank 6
Cultivation.
true saint.
Jian Wuxia
How is this
had
possible?
spent 7 billion
Everyone
holy
was in
elixirs
disbelief.
on the 9
Only
serenities
Jian Wuxia
reincarnation
was not
strategy,
surprised by the
and the
result.
black level sword
When I was a
principal
rank
trial
3 true
tower
saint
alone.
My
As for the
divine
remaining
power was
4,
comparable to a
5
rank
billion
5
holy
true
elixirs.
saint. When I
Jian
became a
Wuxia
rank
had
4 true
exchanged
saint,
2 billion holy
my divine
elixirs
power was at
for
the
an
level of
emperor
a
level
rank
6
6 true
breaking
saint,
elixir,
and so
he
on.
had also exchanged
Now that I have
2
reached
billion
the limit
holy
of a rank
elixirs
4 true
for a
saint,
total of 20
my
drops
divine
of the
power
cold
is
blood
at the limit
poison,
of a rank 6
averaging
true
1
saint.
drop of 100
The divine
million
power
holy
of a rank
elixirs.
6 ultimate
As for
true
the last
saint,
500
the
million
first
holy
form of the
pills,
Xixiang
Jian Wuxia
has been
used them
greatly
all to
improved over the
exchange for
past
divine
90
power
years.
fruit.
By
In the
comprehending the
secret chamber,
gold-splitting secret
Jian
manual,
Wuxia sat alone
now it
with
has
his
also
legs
reached
crossed,
the level of a
looking very
rank 6
calm.
absolute
The
art.
Purple Cloud
In terms
Pavilion
of
has
power,
sealed off the
it is
time
no
and
weaker
space
than the
around this
staff
mystic
skill of
realm.
Long Lu. I can't leave
In
in
a
a short
situation
time
where the absolute
since I
art
can't
is
leave.
equal.
I might
The
as well
divine
stay
power
in this
of an
nest and
ultimate true
cultivate.
saint of the 6th
It just
rank
so happens that
is
I need
naturally
time to
stronger
cultivate than that
when I'm
of an
strong enough
ordinary
to deal with the
6th rank
experts
true
of the
saint.
Purple Cloud
Moreover,
Pavilion.
my comprehension
Go
of
out.
sword principle
Jian
is also
Wuxia
very
muttered.
high.
He already
The
had an
immeasurable
idea
sword
in his
tree in my
mind.
body
Jian
has
Wuxia
reached
immediately began to
16,500
cultivate
feet. A dark
This
and
has already
boundless
surpassed
void.
many top
This
true
was the black
saints.
level sword
So the
principle
power of
trial
my
tower.
swordsmanship is
Jian
naturally
Wuxia
stronger.
stood in the middle of this
All
dark
in all,
void. Of
and in
course he
front
will
of
be
him,
crushed by me.
a black-clothed
Jian
figure
Wuxia
stood
felt that it
coldly.
was reasonable.
Trial taker,
So he
use
did
all
not
your
care
strength
about
and
Long
defeat
Lu.
me.
Long
You can
Lu,
meet your next
you are not
opponent.
qualified to kill
The
me.
black-clothed
It's
figure
better
said
for the 4
coldly.
people behind
Jian
you to
Wuxia
attack.
flipped his palm,
Jian
and the
Wuxiang's
Blood
cold
Mountain
voice
sword
echoed
appeared
in
in
his
world.
hand. Long Lu's
Swish.
face was
The
extremely
dazzling sword
ugly,
light lit up
but
the
there was
entire
nothing he
dark
could
void.
do.
He
Jian
could only
Wuxiang
look at
had
the 4
already
people
made his
behind him,
move,
and
and
4
started a
people
fierce
looked at each
battle.
other.
With the
And then
first
a short
opponent
elder
of
in
the
dark
sword
cyan
principal
armor
trial
took a
tower
step forward.
Time passed
Brat,
quickly.
let this old
Time
man
passed
see how much
mercilessly.
you weigh.
In a
The
flash,
short old man's
90
eyes
years had
flashed
passed
with lightning,
90
and his
years
body
was
trembled.
nothing to an
The
ordinary
aura of a
immortal
rank
saint.
6 peak true
During
saint
these
burst
90
out,
years,
and
the
at the same
heart-wizard
time,
Long Lu,
a layer
and
of
other
light
experts
purple
of the
lightning
Purple
appeared
Cloud
on his
Pavilion
body.
had been
This
guarding
light purple
outside the
lightning
realm.
was like a layer
The
of
space
lightning
and time
armor,
where the nest was
and a
located
huge
had
axe
been
appeared
sealed.
in each of his hands.
The heart wizard was
The
still
2
huge
waiting,
axes were
waiting
also
for
surrounded
Jian
by
Wuxiang
light purple
to come out of
thunderbolts.
the heaven heaven-cleaving
Wuxia
alliance's
narrowed
realm.
his eyes.
At this
He
moment,
could see that
in
the
a
short
vast
elder
chaotic
was much
void far
stronger
away,
than Long Lu,
Emoshan,
and he was
the
definitely
three-eyed
very
man and the
powerful
green-haired
among
woman,
the true saints at
these
the peak
three
of rank
high-level
6.
experts of the
And that was
heaven-cleaving
indeed the
alliance,
case.
gathered
Jian
together,
Wuxuang
drinking
had
and
seriously
chatting.
injured
These
Long
three
Lu with
people
one
had
sword
broken
strike,
through to become
which
principals
shocked many
masters
people,
a long time
including
ago,
the four true
and their
saints
strength
at
had
the peak
almost
of rank
reached their
6.
limits.
After
It was
all,
very difficult
these
for
four
them to
rank
have the
6
chance
peak
to improve again
came from the Purple
unless
Cloud
they went to the
Pavilion.
universe battlefield.
Thus,
In front of
the
so
three
many
of them
people,
were very free
they had
on
to
normal
care about
days.
their dignity and
Emoshan,
identity. How
it
is
was
that
not
little
good
guy
for them
called
to
Heavenly
attack a
Sword
rank
Marquis
4
now?
true saint at the
The
same
three-eyed
time.
man asked.
Therefore,
He is still the same.
short elder was
He
the
has been
strongest
cultivating
among
in
the four.
seclusion in that
Boy
mystic
die.
realm.
The short
And the
elder's
people of
body
the Purple
burst with
Cloud
evil
Pavilion
energy.
have been waiting
He
outside.
dashed out like a purple
Emoshan
lightning
said.
bolt.
I don't know what this little guy is thinking. We only need him to say a word.
Chapter 31,
and our
39,
heaven-cleaving
Dark
alliance
Dragon
will
Spike,
naturally
peak of
send
rank
the people
6.
of the Purple Cloud
Jian
Pavilion
Wuxuang's
away
eyes
for him.
focused,
But he
could
insisted
easily
on
crush
acting
Long
tough.
Lu.
Now,
it was only
he
at
has
the
been
initial
trapped
stage
in
of
this
rank
mystic
6,
realm and can't
with his
get out.
powerful divine
And the
power,
people of the
and the
purple
help
cloud
of the
pavilion
peerless sword technique
seem to be watching
However,
him closely.
the
They
peerless
won't
sword
give him a
technique
chance
alone
at all.
was not enough
The
to defeat a
man
true
said.
saint at the
He's
peak
not
of
trying
rank
to be
6.
brave.
Condense.
He just doesn't want to
Jian
owe us a
Wuxuang
favor.
spat out a word.
Emoshan
In
said.
an instant,
He doesn't owe us
streams
a
of demonic
favor.
purple light
How can
rose
he
up.
solve the crisis
These demonic
in front of him
purple
by
lights
himself?
were actually purple
Does he
sharp
think that he will
swords.
leave after
Under
hiding in
Jian
the
Wuxuang's
heaven-cleaving
control,
alliance's realm
a total
for a
of
long
18
time?
purple sharp
That's too
swords were
naive,
instantly
the
assembled
three-eyed man
together.
said.
I
As
don't
the
know, but
terrifying
from what I know about this
reincarnation
little
waved
guy,
slowly spread
he
out
must
from
have
the
his
void.
own plans.
A black divine
Let's ignore
sword
him
that looked like
and
an
just
all
watch
condensed
quietly.
into form.
I'm looking
The
forward
black
to
divine
seeing if
sword
this little
emitted
guy
a
can give
dazzling
us
dark
another
light,
surprise,
which was
Emoshan
intoxicating.
said.
The surface of the dark light
The
was
three-eyed
faintly
man
surrounded
and
by
the
layers
blue-haired
of
woman
black air
looked at
currents.
each other,
It
and
was
shook
as if
their
a
heads
giant
helplessly.
dragon was circling around the dark
In
light.
fact, with the
The
style
eighth
of the
level of the
heaven-cleaving
reincarnation
alliance,
sword formation,
they would never allow the
Dark
purple
Dragon
cloud
Spike,
pavilion to seal
90
the
years
space
ago,
time around the nest.
after coming out of
They
the
allowed it now
heaven-cleaving mystic
because
realm.
they had a little
Jian
expectation
Wuxuang's
for Jian
comprehension
Wuxuang.
of the reincarnation
They wanted
principles
to see how Jian
had
Wuxuang
already
could
reached
solve
a
the
very
crisis
high level.
alone. It had
Let's keep
already
watching.
surpassed his comprehension
Emoshan
of
smiled,
space-time principles,
but he had a certain confidence
at that
in
time,
Jian Wuxuang.
He was able to
in the
display
mystic
the
realm of
ultimate
the
power of the
heaven-cleaving
seventh
alliance,
level of the
which had been
samsara
sealed
sword
by time
formation.
and space.
One emotion
Buzz.
thread. The
During
endless
these
power
90
of
years,
reincarnation
Jian
principles
Wuxuang
filled
had
the
made
entire
rapid
secret
progress
chamber,
in the space-time
and the
principles,
power of
with the
reincarnation
help of the
principles
gold-splitting
was
secret
completely
manual.
centered on Jian
However,
Wuxuang.
in the
When
samsara
Jian
principles,
Wuxuang opened his
he also
eyes,
had the 9
the
serenity
power of
samsara
reincarnation
strategy,
principles around
which had
him
also carried out a
disappeared
detailed
instantly.
analysis
Jian
of the
Wuxuang
samsara
exhaled
principles.
lightly, but
His
a faint
comprehension
smile
of the
appeared on his
samsara
face.
principles had
After
also made
comprehending
great
it
progress.
for such a long time,
Now he could perform
I finally
the 8th level
comprehended
of the
the
first
first
Tao
Tao
of
of
the
sword
6
formation.
paths of
Jian
reincarnation.
Wuxuang had already
Jian
determined
Wuxuang was also
that
quite
the power
excited.
of the 8th level
The 6
of the
paths of
reincarnation
reincarnation
sword
was the
formation
biggest
should
opportunity
not be weaker
he had
than a
obtained in the
peak-level
heaven-cleaving
secret
mystic
skill.
realm.
With the
It
same
was a
divine
powerful
power,
secret skill
let's see if
that
your
was
axe
comparable
skill is
to the
better,
space-time
or my
divine
reincarnation
skill,
sword
and might
formation
even be
is
a little
better.
stronger.
Jian
However,
Wuxuang's eyes
although
flashed
he had
with a
obtained
fierce
the
light.
complete
The
inheritance
dark
of
light
the
that was
secret
like
skill,
a dragon
he had
instantly
never
turned
truly
into
mastered
lightning
it.
and shot out.
After all,
The short elder
this
appeared
secret
in
skill
front of
was
Jian
very
Wuxuang
profound
and
slashed
slashed
down
down
with
very
the
high
giant
level
axe
of
in his hand.
comprehension of
The moment he
reincarnation
slashed
principles.
down, countless
Previously,
lightning bolts
Jian
appeared.
Wuxuang was
In an
barely
instant,
qualified to
the
comprehend
giant
the
axe
secret
collided
skill.
with the dark
But
light.
now, after
Clang.
90 years
With a
of
loud
cultivation,
sound, the void
although
suddenly
he spent
shook.
most of
The
his
short
time on
elder's
sword
face
principle
darkened,
cultivation,
and his body
he
became
still left a
unstable.
lot of time
He
to
took 3
comprehend the
steps back,
principles
and
each
secret
step
skills.
almost caused the
With
void
the help
under
of the
his feet to
gold-splitting
explode.
secret manual,
As for the dim
he
light
had made
surrounding
great
the dragon,
progress in the
it was
space-time
immediately
principles.
sent flying
In
by
the
the
reincarnation principles,
However,
he
it
had
was
also
only
made
sent
great
flying,
progress in
and
the
it did
past
not
90
cause the
years
sword array
because
to
of the
collapse.
9 serenities
From the scene
reincarnation
before him,
strategy.
it was clear
Jian
that the
Wuxuang
clash
had
was
spent
evenly
8 years
matched.
to master the
This
first
kid,
Tao of the 6
the short
paths
elder's
of
face was
reincarnation.
ashen. I
The
wonder how
spectators were
powerful
all
the first
shocked.
Tao of the 6
Evenly
paths
matched.
of reincarnation
He is a
will be
rank
with
4
my
peak
current
true
strength.
saint.
But
Jian
he is
Wuxuang
evenly
was
matched
looking
with a
forward
rank
to
6
it.
peak true saint.
However, he
How
knew
is
that
this
he had no
possible?
chance to try
The
it
gap
now.
between the
He
true
was
saint
now in the
realm
lair
is
of the
getting
heaven
bigger
cleaving
and
mystic
bigger.
realm.
Even the
So he
super
could not
geniuses of the
practice
3
such a
palaces
powerful secret
and Dao
skill.
Palace
If
can't
he left
challenge
the
a
lair,
rank 6 peak
the
true
people of the
saint
purple
at the
cloud
level of a
pavilion
rank
would
4 peak
immediately
true
attack
saint.
him.
There's
Right?
no hurry. Everyone
I
has
have
mastered
shocked.
the secret
Jian
skill,
Wuxuang
so
stared
I
at
have
the
plenty
short
of
elder
time
with
to
a
use
cold
it in the
face.
future. It's just as
Jian
I
Wuxuang
expected.
smiled.
The 8th
and
level
began
of the
to calculate
samsara
his
sword
current
formation
strength.
is as
Over the
powerful
past
as
90
the
years
pinnacle
of
of rank
cultivation,
6.
he
In
had
my
made
current
great
state,
progress,
I can fight
especially in
against the
sword
true
principle.
saint at the peak of
With
rank
the help
6.
of the gold-splitting
Even if I
secret
have to
manual
face him head on,
and the black
I won't be
sword
afraid.
principle trial tower.
Again,
With
his
a shout,
understanding of the
Jian
sword
Wuxuang
principle
controlled
had
the dark
greatly
light
improved
and continued
now,
to shoot
the
toward the
boundless
short
sword
elder.
tree in his
Why
body
should I be
had
afraid
risen
of you?
from 99,000
The short elder's
feet.
eyes were filled with raging anger. 500 feet. The power of his swordsmanship was even more terrifying on his body. As for his sword technique, strength reached its peak at this unparalleled sword manual. In the void, the two collided again. Had already reached the level of a fifth-level elder's big axe collided but with the reincarnation sword formation. He had been creating new worlds in the sword principal trial tower. Clang, making continuous breakthroughs and advancing by leaps and bounds. Only to hear a low sound of metal constantly ringing throughout the void. Chapter 31:34. Every time the sound is heard, there is an invisible shock wave. Great progress in sword principle in all directions. And in this collision of the principles, it is clear that the two sides have been evenly matched. If I go all out now, in a void around, it will not be difficult for me to fight against a rank that a few strong standing together. I can even suppress an ordinary rank 6 true saint. These people are not good looking. But this strength alone is not enough. Battle strength is so strong that even Deacon Shi can't do anything to him. From the Purple Cloud Pavilion waiting for him outside. Deacon Shi is already the strongest among true saints. If even he can't do anything to this kid, we naturally can't. A
with
true
his current
saint at the
strength,
peak of rank
he could
6
not
said.
deal with them
Jian
alone.
Wuxuang's
Although I'm not
strength was
strong
indeed
enough,
beyond their
I've
expectations.
improved my strength to
They
the
had never
extreme
thought
in the
that a
past
true
90
saint
years.
at the peak of rank
If I
4
want to
could
improve
reach
my
such a
strength
level
again,
of battle strength,
I have to make a
what are you
breakthrough in my
waiting
realm.
for? Hurry up
Jian
and kill
Wuxuang
that
narrowed
kid.
his eyes.
A low
A
shout
breakthrough
suddenly
in
came
realm.
from another
He had made a
battlefield.
breakthrough from a
Long
rank
Lu
1
and
the
true
other
saints were
stunned,
a rank 3
and
true
immediately
saint
looked
in
at
the
the source of the
heaven-cleaving
voice.
mystic realm.
It was
In the
naturally
past
the
90
heart,
years,
which who had
he
fought Dao
consumed a
Dragon
lot of
from the
divine
beginning.
power fruits.
It was a
and
fact that the
accumulated
heart
his
shaman
divine
was very
power
difficult to
quickly.
deal with.
Now,
Although he was not
he
a
had
rank
reached the
7
limit
peak
of a
true
rank 3
saint,
true saint,
many rank
and was
7
only
peak
one
true
step
saints
away
were
from a
not
rank
willing
4
to
true
fight
saint.
him.
However,
Dao
it was
Dragon
not a
was
step
not
that
one
could
of
be
those rank
crossed
7
easily.
peak true
I
saints.
have reached the limit
Dao
of my
Dragon
divine
was a
power.
super expert
Under normal
who dared to clash
circumstances,
head-on with the
I need
purple
to travel
cloud
outside
pavilion
and find a
Even
way
an
to break
invincible
through it.
immortal saint
But now,
would not be
I
able
don't
to
have
do
such
anything to
conditions.
him.
I
His
have
battle
no choice
prowess
but
far
to place my
surpassed
hopes
that of
on
a
the
normal
elixir.
rank 7 peak
Jian
true
Wuxuang's
saint.
expression was
Therefore,
solemn.
the battle
He
between the
flipped his
mind
hand,
witch and Dao
and a
Dragon
scarlet
began
gold
with the
elixir
mind,
appeared in his
which
hand.
being at an absolute
This elixir was the
disadvantage.
Emperor Grade Saint
Now,
breaking
the mind
elixir
witch was in an
that
extremely
Jian Wuxuang
difficult
had
situation.
spent 2 billion holy
However,
elixirs
he
to
was also
exchange
trying
for.
his best to
The
hold
Emperor
on.
Grade Saint
He
breaking
wanted to buy
elixir,
time for these
as
rank
its name
6 true
implied,
saints,
was used
so that
to
they
help
could
true
kill
saint
Jian
experts
Wuxuang.
break through
But
their
who would have
realm by
thought that
force?
these rank 6
Its
true
value was
saints would be
extremely
so
high,
slow to kill
and it was
Jian
very
Wuxuang?
rare.
Of course,
Jian
the heart
Wuxuang
was
was
able to
angry and
exchange for
anxious,
this elixir in
seeing
the
the
treasure
situation
pavilion
of the heart
because
witch.
he was a
The
heaven
rank
grade
6
member
true
of the
saints
heaven
of
cleaving
Purple Cloud
alliance.
Pavilion narrowed
According
their
to
eyes.
Sir Tiansua,
They looked at each
the
other
Emperor Grade
and
Saint
made a
breaking
decision
elixir
immediately.
can play a certain
Let's
role
kill him
even
together.
for cultivators
Whoosh,
above rank 5
whoosh,
or rank 6.
whoosh,
Under
whoosh.
normal
The 3 rank
circumstances,
6 peak true
those who have
saints,
reached the limit of
together
rank
with Long
5
Lu,
or rank 6,
the initial rank
have a
6 true
10%
saint,
chance of
moved
breaking
at
through
this
their
moment.
bottleneck, together
After
with Peek and
consuming
Chi,
the Emperor
who
Grade
had been
Saint
fighting with
breaking
Jian
elixir.
Wuxuang.
I just
There
want
were
to
5
break
rank
through from a
6
rank
true
3
saints
true
attacking
saint
at
to
the
a
same
rank 4
time.
true saint.
This scene
In
made the
addition,
experts of the
my
heaven cleaving
comprehension
alliance
of the principles
who were watching the
and the
fight
Dao
cry
have
out
long
in surprise
surpassed
that of a rank 3 true saint.
Wow,
My foundation
the
is
rank 6
absolutely
true
perfect.
saints of the Purple
In
Cloud
my
Pavilion
current
all
state,
attacked.
if I take
Now,
this
Heavenly
Emperor
Sword
Grade
Marquis
Saint
is in
breaking
danger.
elixir, the
Humph,
chances of
a rank 6
successfully
peak
breaking
true
through
saint
the
is going
bottleneck
against a
and
rank 4
reaching
true
rank 4
saint.
true saint
How
are
dare
at
they
least
bully him with
30%,
numbers?
or even 40%.
Many experts
of the heaven cleaving
Jian
alliance
Wuxuang
were
clenched his
secretly
hands.
disdainful.
The 30%,
However,
or even
it was a
40%
fact that the
chance
rank
was
6
already
true
very
saints
high.
of the Purple
Because
Cloud
of
Pavilion
this,
had all
Jian
attacked.
Wuxuang had
The pressure
previously
on Jian
exchanged
Wuxuang
2 billion
instantly
holy
increased
elixirs
for this Emperor Grade Saint breaking elixir. I'll take my chances. Chapter
Jian
3140.
Wuxuang's eyes
Sweep,
turned
did they all
cold.
attack? He glanced at the
Well
Emperor
done.
Grade Saint breaking
Jian
elixir
Wuxuang
in
was
his
not
hand,
angry
and swallowed
happy
it when he
without
saw the
hesitation.
experts of the
As
Purple
soon as
Cloud
the Emperor
Pavilion
Grade
attacking.
Saint breaking
Buzz
elixir
Buzz, a
entered his
majestic
body.
star power
It
burst out
instantly
from
turned
Jian
into hot
Wuxuang's
energy,
body and
the
began to
7-star
surge in
secret
his
skill
body.
was fully
Jian
activated.
Wuxuang suddenly
The
felt
third
his
volume
whole
of
body
the
become
7-star
hot and
secret
scalding.
skill.
The
The heat
heat
continued
continued
to
to
rise,
Jian Wuxuang's
and his
realm
face
by half a
became redder
realm.
and redder.
He had already
Time
reached the
passed.
limit of a rank
After
4
an
true
unknown
saint.
amount of time,
The increase of
the
half
hot
a realm
energy
instantly
in
made
Jian
Jian body
Wuxuang
finally
reach the
reach
level
its
of a
peak.
rank 5
At
true
this
saint.
moment, he felt as if he was
large
being
amount
burned
of
by
golden
endless
divine
flames,
power began
and
to
his
gather
entire
behind
body
him.
turned red,
And a huge
It's
golden
starting.
emperor phantom
Jian
condensed
Wuxuang
behind
endured
him.
the pain of
The
the
difference
scorching
was that
energy
this
devouring
golden
his
emperor
body,
phantom
and
had
began
increased
to
from
300,000
300,000
power
feet
from
to
attacking the
500,000
bottleneck.
feet.
At the same
In the
time,
past 90
the
years,
scorching energy
Jian
completely
Wuxuang had
merged
not
with
only
Jian
improved his
Wuxuang's
principles
divine
in
power,
swordsmanship,
but also his
Bang,
secret skills.
bang,
For example, the
he had
crazy
improved a
attacks
lot in the
repeatedly
divine
caused the
punishment
veins
realm.
on Jian
The
Wuxuang's forehead to
500,000
bulge.
feet tall
At the
golden
same
emperor
time,
phantom looked
a
down
large
at
amount of
everything
divine
in the
power
world
and
shocked
scorching energy
everyone.
were being
At the same
consumed
time,
rapidly.
a layer
In
of
the blink
black
of an
gold
armor
armor
appeared
Jian
on Jian
Wuxuang had
Wuxuang's
attacked
body.
the bottleneck
7-star
times.
secret skill.
However, punishment divine
was
realm
only
expert.
Slightly shaken.
9 brilliant
This is
star
my
armor
last
heavenly
chance.
armor chapter.
If I don't
were all
succeed,
used.
I'll die.
The supreme
Jian
sword
Wushuang's
essence in the
expression
blood
was
mountain
solemn,
sword also
and a hint of
unscrupulously
madness
swept
appeared
out
in his
under
eyes.
Jian Wushuang's
The remaining
guidance.
divine power
At
in
this
his
moment,
body
had
Jian
completely
Wushuang's
merged
strength
had
had
risen to the
scorching
peak of
energy.
his own.
In the next
Before,
moment,
my
he
divine
rushed
power
toward the
was only
bottleneck like a
comparable
torrent
to the
of
peak
steel.
of rank 6.
Bang!
But
A
now,
low sound
with
came
the use
from
of my
Jian
secret
Wushuang's
skill,
body.
my
His
divine
body
power
trembled,
has increased by
and he
many
also
times.
felt a sharp pain
I
in
have
his
a feeling
body.
that my strength
However,
now
under
definitely
the pain,
surpasses
Jian
that of
Wushuang did not
ordinary
show any
primary
pain.
rank 7
On the
true
contrary,
saint.
he was ecstatic
Jian Wushuang
because he had already sensed that
as
the
he
calm
felt the
center
center
had
been
been broken by
body.
his last
His
attack.
eyes shone brightly.
I've made a breakthrough.
In the next moment,
Jian Wushuang clenched his
Wushuang's
hands,
terrifying power
and the
completely
surrounding
erupted.
power of heaven and
Some
earth
Sara sword
immediately
formation
surged
killed
toward him like crazy.
Jian Wushuang pointed
Buzz,
with his
buzz.
big hand.
Jian
Under the
Wushuang's
dim
divine
light
power
surrounding
and
the
divine
giant
body
dragon
also began to
it seemed
transform.
as if a dragon's
From a
roar
rank
was heard.
3 true saint
Then,
to a rank 4
the dim
true
light
saint
expanded and
it
shot
seemed to
toward
be
the
only
short
a small
elder in
breakthrough.
front of him.
However,
However, It must
Deacon
be known
Chi's
that the
body
gap
was
between
still
each
covered
realm
with
was
a large number
wide.
of pale
Jian
purple
Wuxuang's
thunderbolts.
overall strength
When he saw
had
the dim
improved
light
greatly
shooting
after
toward
breaking
him,
through
he
from a
waved
rank
the big
3
axe
true
in his
saint
hand
to
again,
a rank 4 true
trying
saint.
to hack the
In
samsara
just
sword
half a
formation
day,
back like
Jian
before.
Wuxuang had
In the
completely
blink of an
completed
eye,
his
the axe and the
transformation.
dark light
Everything
collided
had calmed
again.
down in the
In
secret
Deacon Chi's
chamber.
opinion,
Jian
the result
Wuxuang
of the
was still
same
sitting
move would
cross-legged
definitely
with
be
his
the
eyes
same.
open.
However,
At this moment,
in fact, at
he
the
was
moment when
carefully
the two
feeling the
collided,
divine power in his body.
Deacon Chi's pupil
which was
suddenly
more than
shrank.
10 times stronger
He had
than
already
before.
felt the unbelievable
When he had just
force
entered
coming
the
from the
third rank
dark
true
light.
saint realm.
That force was
The
completely
power of his
beyond
divine
what he
power
could bear.
was comparable
Clang,
to that of
with
an
a loud
ordinary
sound,
5th rank true
the axe
saint.
in Deacon Chi's
After
hand
reaching
was
the
sent
peak of the
flying.
third rank,
But the dim light
power of his
continued to
divine
attack
power
Deacon Chi's
should be
divine
comparable
body.
to that
Puff.
of a peak 5th
Deacon
rank
Chi
true
spat out a
saint.
mouthful of
Now
blood
that he had reached
and
the
retreated
4th rank
immediately.
true saint realm,
Level 7.
it was no
Deacon
surprise
Chi
that his
regained his
divine
balance
power alone
and
was
stared at
comparable
Jian
to that
Wuxuang
of a
with fear in
6th
his
rank
eyes.
true saint.
After
If
severely
combined with
injuring
his several
Deacon Chi
secret
in the
skills,
first collision,
his divine
Jian
power
Wuxuang
might
willed
not
the
be
dark
comparable
light
to that of a
with
6th
terrifying
rank true
power
saint.
again.
Moreover,
And directly
he
shot
had just
toward
made
the
a breakthrough.
experts of the purple
Jian
cloud
Wuxuang
pavilion.
suddenly waved
Be
his
careful.
hand.
The
and numerous
expressions of the
high-level
rank
divine
6
power
true saints
fruits
of
appeared
the
in front
purple
of
cloud
him.
pavilion
Divine
changed
power fruits
drastically.
were used to
The
store
dark
divine
light
power.
arrived in front of
Jian
a true
Wuxuang
saint
had
at the peak
exchanged
of
some
rank
of them.
6. In the
The
past
true
90
saint at the
years,
peak of rank
he had
6
accumulated his
subconsciously waved
divine
the
power
huge sword
to
in
the
his
peak
hand.
of rank 3
The
true
huge
saint.
sword was thick
He
and
had used up a
powerful,
lot of
but
divine
it could
power
withstand
fruits,
the dark
but
light
there were
head
still
on.
some left.
Pung.
Now,
The huge sword
Jian
was sent
Wuxuang took
flying,
out these divine
and this
power
peak-type
fruits
rank 6
and
true
swallowed them
saint
all
suffered
without
heavy
hesitation.
injuries as well.
Each
He
of these
retreated
divine power
explosively,
fruits provided
following
Jian
that,
Wuxuang with
the
a lot of
dark light
divine
shot
power,
toward another person,
which made his divine power more and more abundant. There were 3 consecutive
In
loud
a few
bangs,
days,
and the
Jian
first 2
Wuxuang
had
had loud.
devoured and refined all the divine power fruits.
The 2 peak-type
However,
rank 6 true
these divine
saints
power
still had
fruits
some strength,
only allowed Jian
and they were
Wuxuang to
able
reach
to
the level of
obstruct
an
the dark
advanced
light,
rank 4 true
preventing
saint.
it from
There
destroying
was
their
still a
divine
gap
bodies.
between him
They could
and the
recover
peak of rank
after
4, expending some divine power. However, Long Lu, who was only at the initial type rank 6
the
true
mission,
saint realm,
it seems
was
that
in
I have
trouble.
to find the Lord
The terrifying
to
might
exchange
of
for
the
some
light
divine
was not
power
something
fruits.
Long Lu could
Jian
withstand.
Wuxuang murmured,
With just a
stood up,
single attack,
and walked out
Long
of the
Lu's
secret
divine
skill.
body was
The mystic
instantly
realm
destroyed.
Jian Wuxuang was
Silence
in the first
The
sky.
entire world fell
Unlike
silent.
in the endless territory,
Everyone watched on
where
in
there
shock.
were many experts.
Even the rank 6
in the hall,
experts of the
there were
Purple
many
Cloud
members
Pavilion
of the
were
Heaven
stunned.
Cleaving Alliance
Everyone
gathered.
was stunned. Some wore the
How
special
is this
clothes of the
possible?
Heaven Cleaving Alliance
4
and
rank
masks,
6 peak true
but
saints,
some did not.
and an initial
The entire
rank 6
hall was
true
very
saint
lively.
joined hands to kill
Jian
a rank 4
Wuxuang did
true
not
saint.
wear a mask,
But they were
he just
defeated
changed
and
his
defeated
original
by that rank
appearance
4
slightly.
true saint.
He had always used
Is he really a
appearance.
rank 4 true
When he
saint?
walked out of the
Why
room
do I feel like
and
he's
came
a
to
rank
the hall,
7 true saint?
the entire hall
A thought
immediately
appeared
fell
in the
silent.
minds of all the
Many
experts
people
present.
looked at Jian Wuxuang
They had
with
thought that
strange
Jian
gazes.
Wuxuang would be in
Some
big
were
trouble
curious, some were
when they
surprised,
saw the experts
and
of
some were
Purple
gloating.
Cloud Pavilion
Is he
attacking
Heavenly
at the
Sword
same
Marquis?
time.
However,
It's
had
because
not
of him that
expected
the
that the
mystic realm
situation
we're
would
in
be
is sealed by
completely
the Purple
reversed
Cloud
in just the
Pavilion.
blink of an eye.
So we can't even
For
use
rank
the
6
space
peak true
passage.
saints,
The
and one initial
space-time
rank
seal
6
has been in
true
place
saint
for 90
were
years.
defeated by Jian
During
Wuxuang.
those 90 years,
In just a blink of
the
an
Heavenly
eye.
Sword Marquis
Yes, it was
stayed
a
in the
sweep.
secret
The
chamber
4 rank 6
and said that he was
cultivating
severely
seclusion.
injured.
But
The
from what
initial
I can
stage
see,
rank 6
he
true
didn't dare to
saint
go
Long
out,
Lu,
so he had his
to hide.
divine body collapse
That's
on
normal.
the spot.
If it were
If
me,
this was not a sweep,
I would have to
what was
hide
it?
under such
Under
circumstances.
everyone's shocked gazes.
I don't believe that the
Jian
Purple
Wuxuang
Cloud
remained
Pavilion
standing
would
in
dare
the
to
void
seal
with a
this
cold
place
smile
forever.
on his face.
Hee-hee.
The gap
I
between
heard
a
that
rank
when the
6
Purple
true
Cloud
saint
Pavilion
and a
sealed
rank
this place
7
up
true
90
saint
years
is
ago.
ridiculous. The Heaven
After
Cleaving
using a few
Alliance
secret
asked
skills,
the Heavenly Sword
the power
Marquis
of my divine
if they
power
wanted to help him
has
get
already
rid of the
surpassed
people from
most
the
of the
Purple
initial
Cloud
stage
Pavilion.
rank 7
In
true
the
saints.
end, they were
And is
rejected
even
by
close
him.
to that
He
of an
said that it
advanced
was his
stage
fault,
rank 7 true
and
saint.
that he could handle it
My
himself.
strength is so much
There
stronger.
was no need for the
If I
Heaven
use the
Cleaving
8th
Alliance to do
reincarnation
anything.
sword formation,
Handle it himself.
you long spear.
He's a rank
How can
3
the
true
6th
saint.
level true
Oh
saints withstand it.
He seems to have broken through to the rank
in
for
his
true
heart,
saint
however,
now.
his eyes
But
turned
even
cold.
so, how
and
could he
killing
handle it
intent
by
slowly
himself?
rose from his body.
In my opinion,
you can't
he's
kill
suffering
me, but I can
because he
kill
wants
you.
to save face.
Jian Wushuang's voice was cold.
The heaven-cleaving
the dark
alliance
light surrounding the giant dragon
attention
shook
to this
slightly
matter,
and burst out
and
again.
he can only hide
and
in this
Jian
nest
Wushuang
like a
moved
coward.
at the same time.
In the hall,
the moment his body
many
moved,
members of the heaven-cleaving
Jian Wushuang
alliance
his
were
hand.
chatting casually.
Crash!
And
The
many
raging
of them
flames
looked at Jian
mixed with
Wushuang with a
endless
hint
white
of
ice
ridicule.
fog.
Because in their
endless
eyes,
power of
Jian
ice and
Wushuang
fire.
really wanted to
the
save
two
face.
natural opposing
It would have
powers
been
of
great
ice and
if the
fire
heaven-cleaving
merged
alliance
perfectly
had
at this
appeared
moment.
before.
The power
But
of
now
ice
he
and
had to
fire
hide in
swept
this
wildly
mystic
in all
realm.
directions.
Jian Wushuang
in the
also
blink of
noticed
an
these
eye,
mocking gazes,
it completely
but he
covered
did
the
not care
surrounding
at all.
void. Under the
forming
gaze
a
of
huge
these
world
people,
of ice and
Jian
fire.
Wuxuang had
The
already
world of
come
ice
to the
and
counter
fire
was centered
My
around
young
Jian
friend, how can
Wuxuang.
I help you?
With a thought
The
from
brown-haired
Jian
elder
Wuxuang,
at the counter
the
was
world
still
of
very
ice and
humble
fire
and
crazily
polite to
pressed
Jian
down on the
Wuxuang.
purple
I
pavilion
want to ask how
experts in
many
front of
experts
him.
of the purple cloud pavilion are staying outside
Under the control
and what
of
level
Jian
they are at.
Wuxuang's divine
Jian
power,
Wuxuang said,
which was equivalent
do
to
know.
that of a rank
The brown-haired
7 true
elder
saint.
smiled.
The ice
There are
and fire
6
swimming
experts of the
dragon
purple
ruler
cloud
instantly
pavilion
burst
staying
out with
outside the
terrifying
nest.
power.
5 of them are rank 6 true saints. Besides an ordinary deacon of rank
Chapter
6 true
31:41.
saints. The
Kill
other
them
4
all,
are at
Wang.
the peak of rank
Endless
6.
power of ice and fire
As for the
swept
last
over,
one,
causing
you should
Deacon
know that
Qi
he is
and
the
the
elder
others to
Xing
tremble.
Wu of the purple
This is a
cloud
domain.
pavilion.
It's
He
a
is a very
domain,
powerful
but this
rank
domain
7
is
true
so
saint.
strong.
Although
It's
he
too
is not
strong.
at the peak
This
of rank
domain
7,
is too strong.
he is more
My
powerful
strength was
than an
actually
ordinary
suppressed
peak
by
rank
40%
7 true saint in an instant.
Hearing this,
The shocked
Jian
voice
Wuxuang
came from
narrowed
the
his
purple
eyes.
cloud pavilion's
A powerful
experts.
rank 7
The
true
most
saint.
terrified one
For
was
peak
Long
rank
Lu,
6 true
who had
saints,
just
and an
reconstructed his
ordinary
divine
6
body.
true saints in the
40%?
outside world.
You
This
guys only
only
suppress
suppressed
40%. Elder
But my
Xian
strength has been
will really
suppressed by
thought highly of him.
70%.
After cultivating
Lu
in
said in
seclusion
fear.
for 90
What?
years,
My
Deacon Qi
strength
and
has
the others
indeed
were
soared.
also shocked.
In addition,
a low-grade
I
rank
just
6
broke
true
through
to
to
rank
rank 4
strength
true
had been
saint.
suppressed by 70%.
Now I can deal with a rank 6
How could
true
this
saint
domain be
easily.
so powerful?
But the key is
What they
Xingwu.
did not know was that
Jian
the
Wuxuang
ice fire
frowned
swimming
slightly.
dragon ruler was a domain-type
Although
true treasure.
Wu was not
Under
at the
normal
peak of rank 7.
circumstances.
She
Only
was more
principals
difficult to
masters
deal
had
with
a
than
true
an ordinary
treasure.
rank 7
And
peak
domain-type
true
true
saint.
treasures
Such
were
an
extremely
expert was
rare.
not something
Jian
Jian
Wuxuang could deal with at the
controlled
moment.
the ice fire swimming
However,
dragon ruler.
if he wanted to
was
walk
only
out
a
of
rank
this
4
nest,
true saint.
he would have to face
Even
the
if he
heart
used
which had
all
kinds
of secret
I have no
techniques.
choice but to ask
He
for
could
help.
only match the divine
Jian
power
Wuxuang
of a
thought to
rank
himself.
7 true saint.
Of course,
If
he
a
did not mean
principal's
to
master
ask
were
for help
to control
directly
this
from the
true
heaven
treasure
cleaving
personally,
alliance or the Dao
with a
Palace.
thought.
But
The
to issue a
principal's
mission
master could
easily
Sir,
cover an
I
area
want to
with
know
the
what
ice
price
and fire
an expert
domain
at the peak of
and
rank
crush
7
countless
would have to
cultivators
pay
in
in
the
the
area.
heaven cleaving alliance.
Even a rank 7 true
Jian
saint
Wuxuang
at the peak
asked.
of rank 7
An expert
could
at
be
the peak of rank
annihilated.
7?
This was how
The brown-haired
terrifying a
elder looked
domain-type
at Jian
supreme
Wuxuang
treasure
in
was.
surprise.
Now,
He had probably
Jian
figured
Wuxuang
out what
was using
Jian
the divine
Wuxuang was
power
going
of
to
a
do.
rank 7
A
true saint
at
at
the
the peak
peak
of rank
Lu
7,
an
is
ordinary
already a
rank
top-notch
6
true
true
saint
saint.
expert.
Of course,
Although there
he
are
could
also
suppress
invincible
70%
true
of his
saints.
strength.
A true
Heavenly
saint at
sword
the peak
marquee
of rank
is much
7
stronger than
is
us.
definitely a
Now that
top-notch
he has
expert,
used this
even in
domain,
the second
want
heaven,
we,
let alone in the
Lu was
first
still
heaven.
thinking in
The
fear.
price to hire
Suddenly,
such an expert
be
is not
careful.
cheap. A cry
The
of alarm
brown-haired elder
suddenly
said in a
sounded.
deep voice.
Long Lu was shocked
I know the price
and
is not
subconsciously
low,
turned his
but
head.
how much do you need?
When he turned his head,
Jian
he saw
Wuxuang
Jian
asked,
Wuxuang,
at least
who was
5
emitting
billion
holy
holy
killing
elixirs.
intent. It will
Jian
take some
Wuxuang
time
had a
before a
strange
rank
smile
7
on his
peak
face.
true. When he
Saint
saw
comes
Long
to
Lu,
accept the
he
mission.
even winked at
The
him.
brown-haired elder
But the Blood
said,
Mountain sword
5
in his
billion.
hand had already
Jian
flown
Wuxuang
straight out.
nodded secretly.
It was the peerless
The price
sword
was
manual
not
far from what
dream.
he had expected. The
5
sword
billion
cut
holy
into Long
elixirs
Lu's
was
divine
an
body.
astronomical
The
figure
divine
for an
power of
ordinary
a
true
rank 7
saint.
true saint,
Even for many
combined
rank
with the
6
rank
true
6
saints.
absolute art.
But it was not too
Star
much
Dream
for a rank 7
burst
true
out
saint.
with a terrifying
After
tearing
all,
force.
many rank 7
instantly
true
cutting a
saints
gap
had more
in the
than 5
protective
billion
armor on
holy
Long
elixirs.
Lu's body.
It was
It
not
directly
too much
left
to
a
ask
bloody
a rank
mark
7
on Long
peak
Lu's
true
divine
saint to help
body.
once.
It was just a
5
bloody
billion
mark,
holy elixirs
but
were
Long
more or
Lu's
less
divine
enough.
body did
How
not
about
completely
this?
collapse.
I'll give you
He was
7
about to
billion
let out
holy
a breath.
elixirs.
But in
I
the
want
next
you to
moment,
give me a task
his eyes were
immediately
wide open
and ask a
He
rank
had
7
already
peak
sensed
true
that
saint
on the
to
bloody
come.
mark,
Jian
a terrifying
said,
erosive force
7
suddenly
billion?
burst out. The
This
brown-haired
erosive
elder's
force
pupils
crazily
suddenly
eroded
constricted and annihilated his
Wuxuang was
divine
only a
power.
rank 3 true
The speed
saint
of the
before.
annihilation was
Even if he made a
completely beyond
breakthrough
his
now,
imagination.
he was only a rank 4
Poison
true
venom?
saint.
Long
How
Lu
could he
murmured.
give 7 billion
Jian
holy
Wuxuang,
elixirs?
who was standing
If
in
it's
front of
7
him,
billion holy
smiled and
elixirs,
said, "There
have
should
you
be
ever
many
heard of
rank
cold
7
blood
peak
venom?
true saints
Cold
willing
blood
to
venom?
accept this
Long
mission,
Lu
right?"
was completely
Jian
stunned,
Wuxuang asked,
and his eyes were full of
course.
despair.
The
Cold blood
brown-haired
venom
elder
was
said,
one of the most
5
terrifying
billion
holy
poisons
elixirs
in the
were not enough
primordial
to
divine
hire a
realm
rank 7
that targeted the level of the
but
immortal
7
saint.
billion holy elixirs
For example,
is more than enough.
Jian Wushuang
If
had
nothing
exchanged
goes wrong,
for the god-burning
once
poison,
this mission is
and
issued,
the evil god poison,
someone will accept it
which
in
only
2
had a
days
great
at
effect
most.
on the lower-level
That's
immortal
good.
saint.
Jian Wushuang
Most of
nodded.
them only needed
My young
hundreds
friend,
of thousands
the
of
7
holy
billion
elixirs
holy
to
elixirs,
exchange for one drop.
The brown-haired elder
But the cold
looked at
blood
Jian
poison was
Wushuang.
different.
Wait a moment.
The cold blood poison,
Jian Wushuang went
even with
directly
the
to the
authority
treasure
of a
pavilion.
heaven-level member,
Required
he
100
did not have
million
7
holy
billion
elixirs
holy
to
elixirs,
exchange for one drop,
but he still
in the
had
treasure
8 universe
pavilion.
crystals in his
100
hand.
million holy
He could get one
elixirs
from
could
Lord
only be
Tianqiu.
exchanged for one drop. Chapter 31-36. To put it bluntly,
Dao Dragon
the cold blood poison was the most expensive poison that Jian Wuxuang
5
could
billion
exchange
holy
for.
elixirs,
However,
of which
since the
500
price
million
was so
holy
high,
elixirs
the
were
effect
used to
was naturally
exchange for
not
divine
trivial.
power fruits.
One drop of
After
the cold
all,
blood poison
he was only a
is
rank
enough
4
to
advanced
completely
true
erode
saint,
the divine
and
power
was
of
still
a
far
rank
from
7
the
true
peak.
saint.
The
Even if
500
you kill
million
a peak
divine
rank
power
7
fruits
true
were
saint,
enough for him to
you can
reach
only
the
use
rank
2
4
drops
peak
at
true
most.
saint.
As a
And
rank
even the
6
limit
true
of rank
saint,
4,
you
in
should
a
be
short
satisfied
period
if
of
you can
time.
let me use
The
one drop
remaining
of the
7
cold
billion
blood
holy
poison.
elixirs
were
Jian
all
used
used
to
to
issue
issue
indifferently.
indifferently.
He
Jian
was talking
Wuxuang's
to Long
mission
Lu,
was to ask a
but
rank 7
unfortunately,
peak true saint
she
to
could no
help
longer
him,
hear him,
and the reward
because the
was
cold
7
blood
billion.
poison
This
had
mission
completely
had already
eroded
reached
Long
the
Lu's
emperor
divine
level.
power in the
The
blink
members
of an
of the
eye.
heaven-cleaving
Long Lu's
alliance were
life force
divided
had been
into
completely
ordinary
cut
members,
off, and she could
Earth-level
not be more
members,
dead.
Heaven-level
Long Lu
members,
is dead.
Emperor-level
Now it's your
members,
turn.
and the
Jian
last
Wuxuang's
primitive's
level
cold
members
eyes looked at Deacon
Naturally,
Shi and the others
there were also
again.
ordinary
Oh no,
Earth-level,
run.
Heaven-level,
Deacon Shi
and Emperor-level
the others
missions.
were scared out of their
the
wits
mission that
when
Jian
they heard that
Wuxuang
Jian
issued now
Wuxuang
was
had
an
the
Emperor-level
cold blood
mission.
poison.
Naturally,
They did not dare to stay
those
any
who were
longer.
qualified to
Can
accept
you
the
escape?
Emperor-level
Jian
mission
Wuxuang
were the members of the
chased after
heaven-cleaving
them,
alliance,
while the ice
who
and
were
fire
above the
domain
crazily
level.
pressed down on the 4
gathered
people.
in the first
The 4
heaven,
people were all
and there
at
were
the
many
peak of
kinds
rank
of
6
missions
true
in the
saint.
heaven-cleaving
They
alliance,
were powerful and had
but
incredible
emperor-level
speed.
missions were still
However,
very rare.
under the pressure of the
Moreover,
ice and
the
fire
mission
domain,
that Jian Wuxuang
their
issued
speed
this
was
time
greatly
had a
suppressed.
reward of 7
Compared
billion
to Jian
holy
Wuxuang,
elixirs.
they were like
Therefore,
snails.
when the mission
Boom.
was issued,
The dark light
it
surrounded
immediately
by the
caused a
giant
great
dragon
shock.
suddenly
Many
pierced through the
emperor-level
void
members
and
were
charged
interested
toward
in this
Deacon
mission.
Shi.
This
Deacon
was a
Shi
mystic
waved his
realm
giant
and
axe
axe
to
to
block
block
the heaven-cleaving
attack.
alliance.
Even without the
In the
suppression
hall,
of the realm,
a large number
he
of
had been
experts of the
severely injured by
heaven-cleaving
the dark
alliance
light,
gathered in
let
twos
alone
and
now.
threes,
Bang.
chatting casually.
After the collision,
due to the
Deacon Shi
geographical
spat out
location,
blood again.
the
His
heaven-cleaving
divine body
alliance
was
members
severely
who appeared
damaged,
in this mystic
and Jian
realm
Wuxuang had
were
caught up with
generally of
him.
higher levels,
Whoosh,
and
whoosh,
were extremely
whoosh,
strong.
whoosh,
At this moment,
whoosh,
2 figures
whoosh,
were sitting opposite
whoosh,
each other
whoosh,
in front of a table.
whoosh.
In front of
Sword
them
light
was a
suddenly
list of
swept
tasks.
out.
7 billion
Sword
holy
manual,
elixirs,
9th
it's
firmament
only for a
illusionary
rank
sword
7 peak
realm.
true saint
No.
to take action
Deacon
once.
Shi let out a
The
shrill
reward
cry.
for this task
However,
is quite high.
in just one exchange,
a burly
this
man said
Deacon
frankly,
Shi,
his
who was
voice
at
was
the
not
peak of
concealed
rank
at
6
all.
true saint
It
realm,
reverberated
was
throughout
killed
the
by
hall,
Jian Wuxuang
attracting
in an
the
instant.
attention of
Then
many
Jian
people,
Wuxuang caught up
inviting
with the
the other
other
3
7
one
peak
by
true
one.
saint to take
In the
action.
face of Jian
5
Wuxuang's
billion
absolute
holy
strength,
elixirs would normally
the 3
be
had
enough.
no room to resist,
But this mission
and were
actually
all
offered
killed
a
by
price
Jian
of
Wuxuang.
7 billion.
Of course,
The other
in order to
red-haired
kill
old
the
man
5
smiled
people,
indifferently.
Jian Wuxuang
However,
also used 5
when the
drops
two
of the
carefully
cold
read the
blood
mission's
poison,
contents,
which was
they
worth
immediately
500
felt
million
relieved.
holy elixirs.
No wonder the
The
reward is so
experts of
high.
the heaven-cleaving
So this
alliance
mission
who were
also
watching
has
the
to
battle
defend
were
the Purple
stunned.
Cloud Pavilion.
4 rank 6
The
peak
Purple
true
Cloud
saints
Pavilion
and 1
is an
initial level
absolute
true saint
overlord
died
in
in
the
the
first
first
heaven.
How
Not
could a
only
rank
do they
4
have
true
many
saint
peak
kill
true
5 rank
saints,
6 true
they
saints
even have
so
a
easily?
principal's master
Oh my God, am I
personally overseeing
dreaming?
them.
Everyone
There's
could
no
not
need
believe
to
their
necessarily
eyes.
offend
Some
such a
people
sect.
even thought that
It's
they were
not
under
wise
an
to do
illusion,
so, the
and saw
burly man
something
said.
impossible.
Indeed,
But after rubbing their
moreover,
glasses,
this mission
they
has
found that
already
what they
stated
saw
that
was
the
the
rank
truth.
7 peak true
saint we invited must be
for
able to
rank
deal
6
with
peak
the
true
heart shaman
saints,
head-on.
and one initial
I've
rank
heard
6
of the heart
true
shaman
saint
of the Purple
one
Cloud
of the
Pavilion
elders of the Purple
had
Cloud
really been
Pavilion,
killed by Jian Wuxuang.
although he hasn't reached
not
the
only
rank
killed
7
but also
peak true
slaughtered.
saint yet.
A
His
one-sided
methods
slaughter.
are extremely
It was
formidable.
like slaughtering
He's
chickens
even
and
more
dogs,
difficult to
with
deal
no
with than
room
an
for
ordinary
struggle.
rank 7 peak true saint.
Moreover, this person is narrow-minded and
Chapter
will fight over every
31-42.
penny. This
Heart-killing
time,
sorcery.
he's doing it to
With the
reward
help
his
of the
personal
8th level
disciple.
of the Samsara
If
sword
any of
formation,
us try to stop him,
and the realm of
we
ice
will
fire
definitely
swimming
be
dragon
targeted
ruler
by him.
It's really
The
easy
red-haired
for me
old
to
man
kill these
shook his
rank
head
6
with a
peak
smile.
true saints.
The 2 of them were
Jian
emperor-level
Wuxuang was
members
proud
of
of
the
the
void.
heaven-cleaving
A faint
alliance.
smile appeared
One
on
of
his
them
lips.
was at the peak of the
Then
7th
he looked
rank,
at the battlefield
while
next
the
to
other
him.
was infinitely
Whoosh.
close to the
He
peak
moved
of the
and
7th rushed toward the battlefield. On the battlefield, Xian Wu and Dao Dragon were fighting fiercely. Xian Wu had been completely suppressed, and was even forced to retreat. At this time, he saw Jian Wushuang rushing toward him again. Trash! A bunch of trash! Xian Wu cursed loudly, his eyes surging with fury. He had never expected that his 4 rank 6 peak true saints, and an initial rank 6 true saint, would be unable to deal with a little guy who was only a rank 4 true saint. Not to mention being able to do anything. Even they themselves had died at the hands of this rank 4 true saint. Dao Dragon was also looking at Jian Wushuang with a strange light. Heavenly Sword Marquis. I have been in the divine beginning world for more than 100,000 years, and have seen countless geniuses. I have even seen the super geniuses of the heaven-cleaving 3 palaces, Dao Palace, and the Space-Time Temple. But I have to say, among all the geniuses I have seen, You can definitely be ranked first. A rank 4 true saint can easily slaughter a rank 6 peak true saint. Even I have to admire his ability. Jian Wushuang smiled and said, Lord Dao Dragon, the heart which is the only one left in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Why don't you and I join hands and leave the heart witch here? Leave the heart witch here? Dao Dragon was stunned. The heart witch was very famous in the first heaven. After Dao Dragon fought with the heart witch, he found that the latter was indeed very difficult to deal with. Although he was much stronger than the heart witch, he had never thought of leaving her here. However, Jian Wushuang actually had such a thought. The Purple Cloud Pavilion and I have a great enmity. I don't know how many experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion died at my hands, but the premise is that you and I have to have the strength to leave her here, Dao Dragon said. Let's try. Jian Wushuang just smiled. Jian Wushuang and Dao Dragon did not conceal their conversation, and the heart witch standing in front of them heard it very clearly. Boy, I admire you. Not only because of your talent and your incredible ability to jump levels, but also because of your arrogance. Even an invincible immortal saint doesn't have the courage to say that you can keep me. Are you and Dao Dragon qualified to do so? The heart witch's eyes were cold. He stared at Jian Wushuang. It might be difficult for an invincible immortal saint to stay, but it's different for me. Jian Wushuang just smiled coldly. As he laughed, he suddenly waved his hand. Buzz! An invisible power burst out, and in the blink of an eye, a huge barrier appeared in the surrounding void. This barrier was like an iron bucket, surrounding all directions, not leaving a single crack. A formation? Heart Shaman frowned, but then sneered. A mere rank for true saint casually setting up a formation, and you dare to use it to show off? How ridiculous. After saying this, Heart Shaman snorted coldly, and instantly, a majestic black fog surged out. This black fog condensed in the surrounding void space, immediately forming a 3-meter-long black spear. This black spear had a cold aura. After it was formed, it charged toward the barrier closest to the Heart Shaman. Hung! The black spear was extremely terrifying, and was comparable to a full-strength strike of a high-level true saint. However, when it struck the barrier, not only did it not break, it did not even budge. The full-strength strike of a high-level true saint was actually unable to break the barrier. How is this possible? The heart witch was shocked. Even Dao Dragon could not help feeling shocked. The heart witch has indeed used her true strength, but she could not break the barrier at all. Even if I attack it myself, I'm afraid it would be difficult to break the barrier, Dao Dragon muttered. He could not help looking at Jian Wushuang again. A rank 4 true saint can casually set up such a powerful magic array. He must have a treasure in his hand, and it must be of a very high level. Dao Dragon was right. Jian Wushuang had used the ruler seal. The ruler seal ruled over time and space. Although it was not a supreme treasure, its value was definitely not lower than that of ordinary supreme treasures. With Jian Wushuang's current rank 7 true saint's divine power, the power of the ruler seal formed by the formation could only be broken by an invincible saint. As for the heart witch, although her means were very good, she was still far from being able to break the formation compared to an invincible saint. Of course, it was impossible for her to break the formation. In the void, seeing that his attack did not shake the formation at all, Xian Wu's face turned ugly. Boy, you have such a treasure that can seal time and space. You can use it to break the space-time seal from the beginning, and then leave the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's nest. Xian Wu stared at Jian Wushuang coldly. Yes, if I wanted to leave, I could have done so 90 years ago when you sealed the space-time. Unfortunately, I don't like being forced into such a sorry state. Besides, you are not qualified to force me to use the space tunnel to escape. Jian Wushuang smiled coldly. Then he looked at Dao Dragon. Lord Dao Dragon, I have completely sealed the surrounding space. Xian Wu can't escape. Now you and I just need to work together to find a way to kill him. As long as we can completely trap him and prevent him from escaping, it's possible to kill him. Dao Dragon nodded. The reason why he was not confident in leaving the Heart Shaman behind was that the Heart Shaman's life-saving methods were extremely good. However, with the time-space seal, which completely cut off the heart shaman's escape space, there was a great chance to kill him. In that case, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Dao Dragon's eyes turned cold, and his body suddenly moved. As if teleporting, he appeared in front of the heart shaman. Then he clenched his right hand tightly and threw a punch. This punch contained incredible power. When he threw it, the entire void trembled crazily. Feeling the power coming from his fist, the mental wizard's expression changed drastically, and he quickly moved to block it. Chapter 3143. The Voodoo World Boom. Dao Dragon, and the Mind which fought again. For a moment, the heaven and earth shook. Jian Wushuang stood at the edge of the battlefield and felt the terrifying booms coming from the center of the battlefield. But his eyes flashed with a trace of heat. Rank 7 True Saint, I want to see how strong he is. Jian Wushuang smiled with bloodlust. Rumble. Endless power of ice and fire filled the sky and rushed toward the heart shaman like a raging wave. Under the pressure of the ice and fire realm, even the heart shaman was shocked. This realm is so strong. The heart shaman was surprised. He had noticed that Jian Wushuang had killed Long Lu and the others. The ice and fire realm was a great contribution to Jian Wushuang's ability to kill them so easily. At that time, the mind which thought that the power of this realm should be extraordinary. However, he did not expect that he, a rank 7 advanced true saint, would be suppressed by this realm. His strength was also suppressed by nearly 20% by this realm. Before, it was a magic array that sealed the surrounding void. I couldn't even move it with my full strength. But now, the realm-type treasure is obviously of a terrifying level. What is the origin of this kid? How could he have so many treasures? The mind which exclaimed, while the ice and fire domain was suppressing the heart which, Jian Wushuang also moved. He was only a rank 4 true saint. But at this moment, he had directly entered the battlefield of the heart which in Dao Dragon, the 2 rank 7 true saints. Kill. With a loud roar, Jian Wushuang controlled the reincarnation sword formation. The faint light surrounded by a giant dragon pierced through the void and appeared beside the heart witch. A shrill sound of wind breaking was heard. The heart witch waved her sleeve. A pitch-black spear condensed in the void beside her. And in the blink of an eye, it collided with the faint light surrounded by the giant dragon. Bang! A low sound of collision was heard, and the faint light was immediately sent flying. However, the heart witch frowned slightly. She finally understood why Jian Wushuang could easily kill the several true saints at the peak of rank 6. Indeed, the power of his sword formation was very impressive. It was almost comparable to the attack of a primary rank 7 true saint. Boom! A terrifying wind-breaking sound was heard. Dao Dragon slashed with one hand, and a huge crack was torn open in the center of the endless black fog. Then, a huge fist appeared in front of Xian Wu again. Xian Wu's face was gloomy. He was not Dao Dragon's match. Under the suppression of the ice and fire realm, he could only exert 80% of his strength, so he was at a disadvantage. Jian Wushuang was still controlling the sword formation to attack him from time to time, which made the situation become one-sided. In just a few moves, Xian Wu's divine body had suffered a lot of damage and consumed a lot of divine power. If this continues, I'm afraid he'll really die here today. Xian Wu's eyes were cold, but his body suddenly burst out with shocking killing intent. This shocking killing intent completely locked onto Jian Wushuang. It's all because of this kid. As long as I kill him, without the surrounding barriers, no matter how strong Dao Dragon is, he can't do anything to me. Moreover, he killed my disciple. He must die. Xian Wu's eyes were red, and the monstrous black fog on his body burst out again. Secret technique Voodoo World. Boom! The endless black fog completely exploded. This black fog was the voodoo poison from the heart shaman's body. And this voodoo poison was extremely strong. If an ordinary true saint touched it, their divine power would be instantly eroded away. Now that the heart shaman had completely exploded, the black fog became several times denser. The fog that had completely turned pitch black surged wildly, and in the blink of an eye, it actually formed a huge sea of black fog. This sea of black fog was still wildly sweeping in all directions, It was as if it wanted to completely cover the entire world around it. The voodoo world. The heart shaman's greatest trump card was also his strongest move. He had always been skilled in using voodoo. For example, he had previously refined a God Punisher nail for his disciple Chu Yixiao, and that God Punisher nail was refined from his voodoo. And now, he had perfectly displayed the voodoo poison that he controlled to the extreme. This move consumed an enormous amount of his divine power, but its power was extremely terrifying. The majestic voodoo world covered the entire void. Anyone who fell into this voodoo world would immediately be eroded by the voodoo world. There was no way to avoid it, and they could only rely on their divine power to resist. Dao Dragon was powerful. Even if he was covered by the voodoo world, he could still resist the corrosion of the voodoo world with his own divine power. He was only affected to a certain extent in the voodoo world. As for Jian Wushuang, the moment the voodoo world swept out, he did not have much time to react. He was instantly enveloped by the sea of fog. The voodoo world is the most powerful secret skill I've ever obtained in a secret realm. Any ordinary rank 7 true saint who falls into my voodoo world will be killed after a long time. Although this kid's battle strength is comparable to an ordinary rank 7 true saint, he is only a rank 4 true saint. He won't be able to last long in my voodoo world. At most, he will die in 3 breaths. The Heart Witch's eyes were cold. He was very confident in his voodoo world. Jian Wushuang, a rank 4 true saint, was trapped in the voodoo world. If he did not escape in time, he would definitely die. However, Jian Wushuang, who was trapped in the voodoo world, did not have any intention of escaping. He still controlled the reincarnation sword formation, and continued to attack the Heart Witch with Dao Dragon. You're courting death. Xian Wu sneered. While he was trying his best to resist Dao Dragon's attack, he was also waiting for Jian Wushuang's death. However, after 3 breaths and 4 breaths, 10 breaths had passed. Jian Wushuang was still intact in the voodoo world, as if he was not affected at all. On the contrary, because he was using the voodoo world with all his strength, his divine power was greatly consumed. In addition to resisting Dao Dragon's and Jian Wushuang's attacks, his divine body was constantly damaged and needed divine power to recover. Until now, he had used up more than half of his divine power. How is this possible? It has been 10 breaths. How is it possible that this kid is still alive? Xian Wu looked incredulous. He thought that as long as he killed Jian Wushuang, he would be able to leave safely. However, he did not expect that he could not kill Jian Wushuang, even though he had used the voodoo world, his most powerful skill. How could he, a rank 4 true saint, resist the crazy erosion of the voodoo world? Chapter 3144 Kill. Voodoo Poison. Jian Wushuang sneered in his heart. Previously, the god-killing nail contained extremely strong voodoo poison, so it could not affect Jian Wushuang at all. But now, although the voodoo world was much stronger than the god-killing nail, Jian Wushuang was still immune to it. Even if he stayed in the voodoo world for 10 days and 10 nights, he would not be affected, let alone 10 breaths. You've used your most powerful skill, but you still can't do anything to me. Then you're dead. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. Oh no! The Heart Witch's face changed. As Jian Wushuang had said, as long as Jian Wushuang was not dead, he would be in big trouble. Kill. Dao Dragon, and the Samsara sword formation controlled by Jian Wushuang appeared in front of the Heart Witch again, and rushed toward her. The Heart Witch, who had lost more than half of her divine power, was in a worse and worse situation. In the end, she could only struggle. However, the struggle only lasted for a moment and she still died. She's dead. The Heart Witch is dead. The Heart Witch is a very famous rank 7 true saint. It's said that he's more difficult to deal with than many rank 7 peak true saints. Lord Dao Dragon and Heavenly Sword Marquis really killed the Heart Witch here? Most of the experts of the Heaven Cleaving Alliance were in disbelief. When Jian Wushuang said that he would leave the Heart Witch behind, many people did not believe him. But it happened. Of course, it was not because the Heart Witch's methods did not match the rumors. It was because the Heart Witch had met Jian Wushuang, who had even better methods. The Heart Witch's best method was to control the voodoo poison, but his voodoo poison had no effect on Jian Wushuang. Secondly, his life-saving methods were also very good. That was why he dared to fight Dao Dragon head-on. However, Jian Wushuang's ruler seal completely sealed the surrounding void, instantly cutting off his chance to escape. Many of his escape skills could not be used at all. In addition, the Mind Wizard also had some unique skills. He could think of ways to avoid fighting Dao Dragon head-on, and then wait for the experts from the Purple Cloud Pavilion to arrive. However, Jian Wushuang's Ice and Fire Realm, which was performed by the Ice and Fire Swimming Dragon ruler, also completely cut off this possibility. All the life-saving and entangling skills were restricted by Jian Wushuang. It could be said that he had met his nemesis. Since he could not use these life-saving skills, he had to fight Dao Dragon head-on. In addition, Jian Wushuang also attacked with all his strength. Of course he had to die. Heart Shaman. This old man is very famous, and has many skills. I didn't think I could kill him, but he died. Dao Dragon stood in the void, and looked at Jian Wushuang with a strange look. Heavenly Sword Marquis. This Heart Shaman is an elder of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Because of his witchcraft poison and weapon refining skills, he is highly regarded in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Now that you and I have killed him, we are in big trouble. Jian Wushuang's expression changed, and he nodded secretly. I have accumulated a lot of hatred with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. It's not that the Purple Cloud Pavilion hasn't thought of ways to kill me, but they just don't have the ability. Now it's not a big deal for me to kill the Heart Shaman, but you are different. If nothing goes wrong, from today on, the Purple Cloud Pavilion will try to kill you, Dao Dragon added. I know, but since I dared to kill someone, I must be mentally prepared, Jian Wushuang said. That's good. In that case, you take care of yourself. I've completed my task, so I'll take my leave, Dao Dragon said. Thank you, Lord Dao Dragon. Jian Wushuang thanked him, and soon Dao Dragon left. Jian Wushuang waved his hand, and an interspatial ring immediately floated toward him. This interspatial ring was the one left behind by the heart, which after her death. Lord Dao Dragon is very polite. He did a lot to kill the Heart Witch, but he didn't even look at her interspatial ring, and left it to me? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. The Heart Witch was a rank 7 true saint, and an elder of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. She was proficient in voodoo and weapon refining. Her reputation was shocking, so she must be rich. Although Jian Wushuang did not have any treasures in the interspatial ring, he could guess that the value of the interspatial ring was more than that of an ordinary peak rank 7 true saint. However, Dao Dragon was not interested in such a big fortune at all. He kept it all for himself. Obviously, Dao Dragon thought that Jian Wushuang was the reason why he could kill the Heart Witch. He did not accept the reward. On the other hand, Dao Dragon probably wanted to make friends with Jian Wushuang, a top genius. Lord Dao Dragon, please help me. I paid 7 billion holy elixirs, but I killed 4 rank 6 peak true saints, 1 initial rank 6 true saint, and most importantly, I killed the Heart Witch, a rank 7 true saint. I got their interspatial ring. Its value has long surpassed the price I paid, and I made a lot of money. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. He had indeed made a profit this time. Of course, at the same time, he had also offended the Purple Cloud Pavilion. The Purple Cloud Pavilion, the overlord of the first heaven, one of the 3 pavilions. In the first heaven, the Purple Cloud Pavilion had absolute authority, and all the sects and factions were extremely fearful. And the experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion were practically unruly no matter where they went in the first heaven. Very few people dared to make an enemy of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, much less kill an elder of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Dao Dragon was the only one who dared to do so in the past million years. He was strong enough to not be afraid of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. The Purple Cloud Pavilion could not kill him without the help of the principal's master. Therefore, Dao Dragon was able to live. As for the others, they were all dead. Therefore, when the news of the witch Boda's death spread to the Purple Cloud Pavilion, the pavilion master and the elders of the Purple Cloud Pavilion were furious. When they learned that the Heart Shaman's death was largely due to Jian Wushuang, a rank 4 true saint, the killing intent of the Purple Cloud Pavilion's upper echelons was even more shocking. A mere rank 4 true saint dares to kill an elder of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Kill Heavenly Sword Marquis. We can't kill Dao Dragon, but Heavenly Sword Marquis must die. Soon an order was given. It was a kill order. Anyone who belonged to the Purple Cloud Pavilion, including the experts and disciples of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, as well as all the forces and countries under the Purple Cloud Pavilion, who met Heavenly Sword Marquis must be killed. At the same time, the intelligence department of the Purple Cloud Pavilion began to operate and frantically search for Jian Wushuang. Once they found Jian Wushuang, the Purple Cloud Pavilion would immediately send experts to kill him. Chapter 3145. The fight began in another secret lair of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Jian Wushuang, wearing a gray robe and a gray mask, was sitting at a table, holding a piece of information that he had just received. Sure enough, after the heart which died, the Purple Cloud Pavilion became furious and tried to kill me. Not only did they issue a kill order, but they even put a bounty on the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance and all the intelligence organizations in the first heaven to find my whereabouts. However, this is exactly what I want. Jian Wushuang looked at the information in his hand. A strange smile appeared on his face. He had long expected the Purple Cloud Pavilion's anger, and was mentally prepared for it. In the face of the Purple Cloud Pavilion's kill order, and the bounty from the intelligence organizations, ordinary rank 4 true saints, and even rank 7 true saints would be terrified. However, Jian Wushuang was not. Not only did he not panic, but he also looked forward to it. On the contrary, he was looking forward to it. The road to becoming an expert is full of obstacles. In this life, I rose up in endless territories. In the beginning, I encountered some obstacles in the Pil Sun Sacred World. However, after leaving the Pil Sun Sacred World, I rarely encountered any obstacles. There are very few experts in the endless territories. It's normal that I don't encounter any big obstacles. However, this is the first heaven, where there are as many experts as clouds. My strength increases, and my rise requires a large number of whetstones. The Purple Cloud Pavilion will be my first whetstone, after I come to the first heaven. Jian Wushuang's eyes were shining brightly. If an ordinary person heard that Jian Wushuang treated the Purple Cloud Pavilion as a whetstone, they would definitely think that he was crazy. However, Jian Wushuang was full of confidence. It was his own strength and confidence in his talent. He was not worried that he would not be able to withstand the anger of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Instead, he was worried that the Purple Cloud Pavilion was not enough. Let the slaughter begin. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands, and the token in his hand that recorded the information of the Purple Cloud Pavilion immediately shattered. 3 months later, in the territory controlled by the Purple Cloud Pavilion, in the first heaven, in the vast void, 2 figures were flying forward side by side. They were a man and a woman. Their auras were very strong, and they had reached the peak of rank 5. A peak rank 5 true saint. With such strength, they could already hold the position of deacons within the Purple Cloud Pavilion. These 2 people were the 2 deacons of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. As they rushed forward, they were still chatting idly. The ruler of the Hengshui Kingdom just now was very generous. Not only did he pay us enough money, he even prepared 10 million holy elixirs for each of us, the red-robed woman said. He's smart. He knows that he can give us some benefits, so we won't deliberately make things difficult for him. Some of the monarchs are as stupid as pigs. Every time, they insist that we use some tricks before they are willing to give us benefits, said the white-robed, white-bearded old man with a smile. Haha, that's true. However, no matter what, although the 2 of us aren't strong, and can only be considered at the bottom among the deacons of the Purple Cloud Pavilion, we are considered lucky to be able to get this job, said the red-robed woman. That's not just good, it's very good. You don't know that our current job is very lucrative. There are so many deacons in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. I wonder how many deacons envy our job, said the white-robed, white-bearded elder. As the 2 of them conversed, they were clearly in an extremely good mood. But suddenly, a figure appeared in front of the 2 of them without any warning. The red-clothed woman and the white-robed, white-bearded elder immediately stopped. Both of them raised their heads and looked at the person. The person was wearing a gray robe and a gray mask. This was clearly the attire of a member of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and the aura emanating from his body had already reached the limit of the rank 4. "Who are you?" The white-robed, white-bearded elder shouted in a low voice. They were rank 5 peak true saints. Facing a rank 4 true saint, they naturally had the right to look down from above. "My name is Heavenly Sword Marquis. You should have heard of me." A cold voice came from under the gray mask. "Heavenly Sword Marquis?" The white-robed, white-bearded elder and the red-clothed woman's expressions changed drastically. They were deacons of the Purple Cloud Pavilion. So of course, they knew Heavenly Sword Marquis, who had angered the Purple Cloud Pavilion and issued a kill order. "It's you! How dare you appear in front of us?" The red-clothed woman shouted. "It's just 2 dead people, why wouldn't I dare?" Jian Wushuang smiled and said playfully, "You should have finished sending the message, right?" The white-robed, white-bearded elder and the red-robed woman were stunned. They were secretly sending the message to the Purple Cloud Pavilion, but Jian Wushuang knew this and did not intend to stop them. "Since you have finished sending the message, you too can go to hell." Jian Wushuang's voice was cold. Then he directly attacked. There were only 2 true saints at the peak of rank 5. With Jian Wushuang's strength, he killed them in a flash. After killing them, Jian Wushuang left. When the experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion received the message and sent them, Jian Wushuang had already gone to God knows where. The 2 deacons of Purple Cloud Pavilion were just the beginning of Jian Wushuang's slaughter. 2 months later, the 5 core disciples of Purple Cloud Pavilion were targeted while they were out training. All 5 of them died and none survived. The killer was Heavenly Sword Marquis. Half a year later, a true saint expert at the peak of rank 6 of Purple Cloud Pavilion was killed in a city. The killer was Heavenly Sword Marquis. 3 years later, at a neutral auction, 8 people from the Purple Cloud Pavilion participated. 5 of them were rank 6 true saints, and 3 of them were rank 5 true saints. They spent a lot of holy elixirs and bought several treasures at the auction. As soon as the 8 people walked out of the auction, they were immediately killed. All 8 experts died, and the murderer was still Heavenly Sword Marquis. 5 years later, in a country, while Purple Cloud Pavilion gave Jian Wushuang a kill order and frantically searched for his escape route, Jian Wushuang also set his eyes on Purple Cloud Pavilion. To everyone's surprise, he directly entered the territory controlled by Purple Cloud Pavilion and crazily killed the solitary experts of Purple Cloud Pavilion. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was a large sect with countless experts and disciples. Many of them were wandering in the outside world and were active in this territory. Jian Wushuang had his eyes on them. He got detailed information from the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance and then went to find them. In just 10 years, Jian Wushuang had attacked 8 times. More than 30 experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion had died at his hands, including many rank 6 true saints. This incident not only shocked the Purple Cloud Pavilion, but also shocked the outside world. Everyone knew that Jian Wushuang had completely fought with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Chapter 3146. Prey that has been targeted. This Heavenly Sword Marquis is so bold and courageous. He's just a mere rank 4 true saint, yet he dares to fight the Purple Cloud Pavilion head-on? Indeed, if it were us, after knowing that the Purple Cloud Pavilion had issued the kill order, we would definitely try to find a place to hide. We might even flee to the endless territories, so that the Purple Cloud Pavilion wouldn't be able to find us. We would wait for a few 100,000 years before returning. However, this Heavenly Sword Marquis clearly knows that the Purple Cloud Pavilion wants to kill him, yet he still took the initiative to run into the territory controlled by the Purple Cloud Pavilion and kill as he pleases. Thanks. This Heavenly Sword Marquis is really something. He is only a rank 4 true saint, yet he can kill so many experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion in such a short time. He can even kill a rank 6 true saint, or even a rank 6 peak true saint. This is too terrifying. He is simply a monster. Monster? Humph, so what if his talent is heaven-defying? His actions now clearly indicate that he wants to fight to the death with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. However, the Purple Cloud Pavilion is such a huge monster. How can a mere rank 4 true saint be able to fight against it? Just wait and see. Before long, the people of the Purple Cloud Pavilion will find him and kill him. Yeah, I think so too. After all, the Purple Cloud Pavilion is the overlord of the first heaven. It has been deeply rooted for so many years, and its strength is no small matter. After so many years, no one in the first heaven dares to challenge the Purple Cloud Pavilion head-on. Other than Dao Dragon, there is no one else who can survive. Although this heavenly sword marquis is talented, in terms of strength, he is still far from Dao Dragon. Stupid. Stupid. Heavenly sword marquis is too stupid. Countless experts were discussing this matter. These experts had different attitudes toward Jian Wushuang. Some admired Jian Wushuang's courage, some admired his strength and talent. But there were also many who thought he was too stupid. He should not have chosen to fight head-on with the Purple Cloud Pavilion. But no matter what they thought, it had nothing to do with Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang insisted on walking his own path. He knew what he was doing. Time passed. Jian Wushuang still roamed around the territory controlled by the Purple Cloud Pavilion, killing experts everywhere. The Purple Cloud Pavilion was also trying to find him and kill him. But Jian Wushuang was very cunning. His whereabouts were always erratic, and because he was a heaven-grade member of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, he could get detailed information from the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. The Purple Cloud Pavilion had set traps for him several times, but he did not fall for it. In a flash, 60 years had passed. Jian Wushuang had killed for 60 years in the territory controlled by the Purple Cloud Pavilion, but he was still alive and well. During these 60 years, I killed countless experts in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. Killing and attacking again and again made my strength improve a lot, but the improvement is not too great. Jian Wushuang stood in the void. His eyes were extremely cold as he stared at the information he had just received. The information said that half a month later, a new king of the Winter Snow Kingdom, under the Purple Cloud Pavilion, would take over. The Purple Cloud Pavilion sent an elder of a rank 7 true saint to participate. A rank 7 true saint, Jian Wushuang muttered. With his current strength, it was indeed easy for him to kill an ordinary rank 6 true saint, or even a rank 6 peak true saint. Even if several rank 6 peak true saint experts joined hands, he could easily kill them. In the past 60 years, he had killed many rank 6 true saints in the Purple Cloud Pavilion. It was not difficult for him to kill a rank 6 true saint. If he wanted to train and use the Purple Cloud Pavilion as a whetstone, he naturally had to find someone stronger. That was why he had his eyes on this rank 7 true saint. With my current strength, it's not difficult for me to contend with an ordinary rank 7 initial true saint. As for whether I can kill him or not, I'm not sure. But even if I can't kill this rank 7 true saint, I can leave at ease. Jian Wushuang smiled. He had already made up his mind. In half a month, the Winter Snow Kingdom. Half a month soon arrived. The Winter Snow Kingdom was one of the many kingdoms under the Purple Cloud Pavilion. The Winter Snow Kingdom's territory was quite vast. In the first heaven, it was already a large kingdom with many experts. There were 6 rank 6 true saints, but there was not a single rank 7 true saint in the entire kingdom. Today, the new king of the Winter Snow Kingdom had ascended to the throne, and the Winter Snow Kingdom had specially invited an elder of the Purple Cloud Pavilion to attend. The inauguration ceremony was extremely lively and grand. After the ceremony was over, a huge banquet was held, and countless experts were boisterous. Only after the banquet was over did everyone start to disperse. Lord Bai Yuan, this is just a small token of my appreciation. I hope that when you return to the Purple Cloud Pavilion, you can put in a few good words for my Winter Snow Kingdom. A middle-aged man dressed luxuriously smiled. He gave out an interspatial ring. The white-robed old man called Bai Yuan ended up with the interspatial ring. After scanning it with his consciousness, he smiled and nodded. Don't worry, Your Highness. The Winter Snow Kingdom has long been under the command of our Purple Cloud Pavilion. Moreover, they have been following the lead of our Purple Cloud Pavilion all these years. Naturally, the Purple Cloud Pavilion will not forget. In that case, thank you, Lord Bai Yuan. Please take care. The middle-aged man dressed in luxurious clothes said. Bai Yuan turned around and prepared to leave. Whoosh! A figure suddenly appeared in front of everyone without any warning. Bai Yuan, and the middle-aged man immediately looked up. My name is Heavenly Sword Marquis. Jian Wushuang said softly. He said it casually, but when the people around heard the name, their faces changed. Heavenly Sword Marquis. He is Heavenly Sword Marquis, the rank 4 true saint, who has been fighting with the Purple Cloud Pavilion for 60 years, and still hasn't been killed? Heavenly Sword Marquis, you actually came to the Winter Snow Kingdom? A lot of exclamations sounded at the same time. Bai Yuan's face turned completely gloomy. Boy, how dare you! Bai Yuan's voice was cold, and he had secretly sent a message to the Purple Cloud Pavilion. He knew that Jian Wushuang was very strong. He was only an initial rank 7 true saint. Even if he could suppress Jian Wushuang, he would not be able to kill him. Therefore, the Purple Cloud Pavilion had to send more experts. After receiving the message from Bai Yuan, the Purple Cloud Pavilion's higher-ups immediately ordered 3 experts at the rank 7 peak True Saint realm to rush over. 3 experts at the peak of rank 7 were enough to kill a rank 7 True Saint of the same level. Killing a rank 4 True Saint like Jian Wushuang would be a piece of cake. Jian Wushuang guessed that Bai Yuan had sent a message, but he was not in a hurry. He had already received detailed information about the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and had already calculated it. Although the Winter Snow Kingdom is a large-scale kingdom under the Purple Cloud Pavilion, the Purple Cloud Pavilion does not have a direct space passage to the Winter Snow Kingdom. If the experts of the Purple Cloud Pavilion want to rush here, they need at least 30 breaths of time. Jian Wushuang muttered in his heart. Jian Wushuang murmured to himself. Chapter 3147. Fighting a rank 7 true saint. 30 breaths was not a long time, but it was enough for Jian Wushuang. An expert from the Purple Cloud Pavilion can arrive in 30 breaths, and I have to kill him in 25 breaths. If I can't kill him, then I have to leave. Jian Wushuang stared at Bai Yuan in front of him. A shocking killing intent rose from his body. Swish, 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 swish. Purple longswords floated out and combined with each other at the fastest speed. The faint light surrounded by a giant dragon appeared again. It was the 8th level of the Samsara sword formation, the Dark Dragon Spike. Compared to the Dark Dragon Spike that Jian Wushuang used 60 years ago, the dark light was more dazzling and more powerful. At the same time, the 7-star secret skill, the Divine Punishment skill, and the 9 luminary star armor were all used, and the supreme sword essence in the Blood Mountain sword was completely unleashed. Kill! Jian Wushuang shouted, and the ghost dragon burst out. Boom! The void was penetrated, and the ghost light appeared in front of Bai Yuan. Humph! Bai Yuan snorted coldly. A green longsword appeared in his hand. With a wave of his hand, a huge green sword light, like a green moon, swept out and collided with the dim light. Clang! The sound of metal colliding rang out. The dim light trembled slightly before it flew out explosively. As for Bai Yuan, although he did not retreat, his eyes darkened. Rank 7. Bai Yuan looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. He clearly felt that Jian Wushuang had the battle strength of a rank 7 true saint. Not only did he have the divine power of a rank 7 true saint, but the power of his sword formation was also almost equal to that of an ordinary level 7 absolute art. Indeed, during the past 60 years, Jian Wushuang's comprehension of the principles had improved a lot, and his grasp of the 8th reincarnation sword formation had become stronger. Now he was fully controlling the 8th reincarnation sword formation, and the power it released, it was very close to an ordinary rank 7 absolute art. Combined with the power of his divine power, his real battle strength was comparable to an ordinary rank 7 elementary true saint. And Bai Yuan was only a rank 7 elementary true saint. Again, Jian Wushuang smiled coldly, and the reincarnation sword formation burst out again. At the same time he also moved. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Streaks of silver light flashed rapidly in the void like ghosts. Before the reincarnation sword formation could reach Bai Yuan, Jian Wushuang had already arrived. Ninth heaven of illusionary sword. Jian Wushuang waved his right hand continuously. In the blink of an eye, 9 sword lights seemed to fall at the same time and slashed toward Bai Yuan. Ridiculous. Bai Yuan was not afraid at all. He also struck his sword continuously, and his speed was not slower than Jian Wushuang's. Clang, 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 clang. 9 low collision sounds were heard. Jian Wushuang's 9th heaven of illusionary sword was faster and faster, but it was blocked by Bai Yuan. Boom! The dark light surrounded by the giant dragon also shot toward Jian Wushuang. However, Bai Yuan backhanded his sword and pushed back the dark light with brute force. Boy, is that all you have? Bai Yuan stared at Jian Wushuang with a cold smile. As expected of a rank 7 true saint, it's different from those rank 6 true saints, but Jian Wushuang said as he waved his hand, and a large amount of ice and fire energy instantly surged out. It swept out in all directions at an astonishing speed. The ice and fire swimming dragon ruler and the ice and fire realm had completely exploded. The power of the ice and fire realm was extremely powerful. Even the Heart Witch, whose strength had reached the advanced rank 7 and was close to the peak of rank 7, was suppressed by nearly 20% of his strength under the full force of the ice and fire realm. Bai Yuan's strength was definitely much weaker than the Heart Witch's. Under the full suppression of the ice and fire realm, Bai Yuan's strength was immediately suppressed by more than 20%. Now let's fight again. Jian Wushuang smiled coldly, and the Samsara sword formation burst out again. Bai Yuan felt the strong pressure around him and could not help frowning. Under the suppression of the ice and fire realm, he once again attacked the Samsara sword formation head-on. However, this time they were evenly matched. Although the sword formation was sent flying, he was forced back 3 steps. Swish, swish, swish. The dim light flashed again and crazily rushed toward Bai Yuan. Bai Yuan could not dodge it, so he could only wave his long sword again and again to send the dim light flying. However, Jian Wushuang only used his mind to control the sword formation, while Bai Yuan relied on his own sword to defend. The recoil from the collision affected Bai Yuan's divine body again and again. In addition, Jian Wushuang had been looking for opportunities in the surroundings, so the situation was obviously disadvantageous to Bai Yuan. Suddenly, Jian Wushuang, who had been looking for opportunities in the surroundings, suddenly moved. Without any warning, Jian Wushuang appeared beside Bai Yuan. He slashed out the Blood Mountain sword in his hand, and a hazy but beautiful sword light lit up. It was the first move of the peerless sword technique Star Dream. Bai Yuan had just blocked the attack of the reincarnation sword formation, so he was unable to block Jian Wushuang's extremely fast sword. Clang! The sharp sword light cut into Bai Yuan's protective armor, and a strong tearing power burst out. However, although the power was strong, it did not cut through Bai Yuan's protective armor. It only left a white mark on the armor. Huh! Jian Wushuang frowned and immediately retreated. After retreating far away, Jian Wushuang looked at Bai Yuan again, with a serious expression. The information provided by the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance is right. Although Bai Yuan is not very strong, his protective means are very good. The armor he is wearing is a superior holy treasure armor, and he has also cultivated a unique protective secret skill. With my current strength, I could not break his divine body with Star Dream 1 move. At most, I could only hurt him slightly, Jian Wushuang murmured. It was only a slight injury, which could be repaired with a bit of divine power. It had no effect on Bai Yuan at all. What Jian Wushuang wanted to do was to cut open Bai Yuan's protective armor, then cut open the skin on Bai Yuan's body, and erode the cold blood poison into Bai Yuan's divine body. Just a drop of the cold blood poison was enough to kill Bai Yuan. It was enough to kill Bai Yuan. However, his idea would not work now. Boy, you have completely infuriated me. Bai Yuan stared at Jian Wushuang with bloodshot eyes, and his aura suddenly became violent. No matter what, Bai Yuan was a rank 7 true saint. Although he was not very strong, he still had his own trump card and killer move. And now, Bai Yuan was going to use his killer move. Chapter 3148. Hidden Cards. Heavenly Sword Marquis. You are a rank 4 true saint, but you have the battle strength of a rank 7 true saint. Such talent is simply unbelievable. Logically, you should have a bright future, but unfortunately, you are too arrogant and treat my Purple Cloud Pavilion as your opponent. Today, I will leave you a top genius here. Die! Die! Bai Yuan's eyes turned cold, but he opened his mouth and spat out a pitch-black bead. After he spat it out, the bead exploded with a bang and turned into black energy that filled the sky, fusing into the green longsword in Bai Yuan's hand. Wind God! Bai Yuan's killing intent flashed, and he immediately drew his sword. He took a step forward, and the longsword in his hand suddenly stabbed towards the empty space in front of him. As he thrust, ripples immediately spread out in the void. Bai Yuan was using a longsword, but the move he was using felt like a spear thrust. The moment he thrust, a green lightning bolt pierced through the void and shot toward Jian Wushuang. Fast, too fast. Even Jian Wushuang, who was good at space-time principles and was very fast, could not help being shocked when he saw the green lightning bolt. This sword move is even faster than my life and death moment. Jian Wushuang was shocked. Among the 7 sword moves in the Wushuang sword manual, the fastest one was the life and death moment, which was a sure kill sword move. However, at this moment, the speed of the sword move that Bai Yuan displayed was obviously faster than his life and death moment. Jian Wushuang had only thought of defending himself against such a terrifying speed, but the cyan sword light had already struck Jian Wushuang's divine body. Bang! A low boom sounded. Jian Wushuang's body shook violently, and he suffered a heavy blow. The cyan lightning instantly made a hole in the golden armor on his body. Then, a bloody hole the size of a bowl appeared on Jian Wushuang's divine body. The black energy formed by the black bead also entered Jian Wushuang's body and began to erode wildly. Jian Wushuang's expression changed. He closed his eyes and felt the erosion of the black energy in his body. However, it only took a moment for Jian Wushuang to open his eyes again. As expected of a rank 7 true saint, your move just now was quite good. Jian Wushuang grinned and revealed a cold smile. He didn't die. Bai Yuan was extremely surprised. His strongest move, which was combined with the black bead, was a sure kill move. Logically speaking, even if a rank 7 true saint was hit, the chances of survival would not be high. However, this rank 4 true saint actually survived this move. Not only did he survive, but it seemed that even his divine power had not been eroded by much. Bai Yuan, you've used your most powerful skill. Now, you should try one of my moves. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. The next moment, he slowly raised the Blood Mountain sword in his hand. The sword was placed in front of him. However, this simple act of raising the sword instantly stirred up the surrounding space and time, and the surrounding void became completely blood-red. Yes, it was blood-red. The blood-red sky, the blood-red earth, and even the air were filled with a large amount of blood fog. Bai Yuan and the surrounding experts who were watching the battle even seemed to see the bones under Jian Wushuang's feet, forming a blood sea. The sky-shaking killing intent soared to the sky, causing everyone to feel a trace of fear. At this moment, Jian Wushuang was no longer a human cultivator, but an Azura who had transformed into hell. This was a blood-colored Azura. The blood-colored Azura raised the sword in its hand and slowly slashed out. It was a simple slash as if it did not contain any power. However, the moment the Blood Mountain sword was slashed out, a huge sense of fear instantly surged into Bai Yuan's heart. Whoosh! The sword light finally fell. The 7th move of the Peerless Sword Manual, the strongest move, Blood Azura. The sword light slashed out with earth-shaking power. Bai Yuan was about to block the sword when a wave of space-time power suddenly came. The space-time around Bai Yuan instantly became stagnant. This stagnant state only lasted for a short time, and was almost negligible. However, in a fight between experts, especially those who had reached the level of a rank 7 true saint, many things could be done in a split second. At least, the sword light that Jian Wushuang had displayed appeared in front of Bai Yuan. When Bai Yuan came back to his senses, he could no longer block the sword light. He could not even raise his longsword with much difficulty. Bang! The sword light was not hindered at all. It directly cut into Bai Yuan's divine body. Bai Yuan immediately let out a muffled groan, and his body suddenly retreated. However, his divine body was not directly destroyed. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang could not help but sigh. Bai Yuan's body protection ability is indeed strong. Not only did my blood azure emerge with the heaven-designated skill, but the power of his swordsmanship is also extremely terrifying. However, even such a sword attack, without any hindrance, could not cause his divine body to directly collapse. Jian Wushuang muttered, however, he was not disappointed at all. More than half of the 30 breaths time has been used up. In a little while, the experts of Purple Cloud Pavilion will arrive. I can't waste any more time with him. I'll use that move directly. It would be best if I could kill him. But if I can't, I'll have to leave directly. Jian Wushuang's face became extremely solemn. Blood Azura was the strongest and most terrifying sword move he had ever created. However, this sword move was not his strongest trump card. He had many trump cards, such as the Mountain River map, which he had never used. But now, Jian Wushuang had no intention of using the Mountain River map. He had another trump card. He had just mastered this trump card, and had never really fought in front of others. You're lucky to be the first target of my secret skill, Bai Yuan. Jian Wushuang smiled. Cut the crap. Show me what you've got. Bai Yuan was not afraid at all. He did not believe that Jian Wushuang could kill him, because of his strong protective ability. Of course, he did not want to kill Jian Wushuang himself. He just wanted to keep fighting with Jian Wushuang, and stall for time, until the 3 true saints at the peak of rank 7 arrived. Then he could easily surround and kill Jian Wushuang. Haha, as you wish. Jian Wushuang did not waste any more words. With a faint smile, the vast divine power on his body instantly surged. Splash! A large amount of divine power surged, instantly forming a huge divine power sea. However, the divine power in this divine power sea was being consumed at a crazy rate. 6 paths of reincarnation. Hell path, extremely hot hell. Chapter 3149. The Path of Hellwang. The originally vast sea of divine power suddenly evaporated. Under the influence of the power of reincarnation, heaven and earth began to change. In the blink of an eye, the entire heaven and earth became completely red, as if it was completely in a furnace, and the temperature of this furnace was unbelievably high. Zzz, even the void was emitting hot air crazily. The entire world, and the endless void seemed to be melting. So hot. It's too hot. How can it be so hot? I'm a true saint, and I actually feel like I'm about to die from the heat. Outside the battlefield, the true saints of the Winter Snow Kingdom were all inexplicably exclaiming at this moment. Their mouths were dry, and they were extremely hot. However, they were outside the battlefield, which meant that they were outside the world of extreme heat. It was easy to imagine what it was like to be inside the world of extreme heat. What kind of trick is this? It's too hot. My divine body, my blood, my soul, and my divine power are all about to be completely evaporated. Hot. Hot. I'm going to die from the heat. Ah. Bai Yuan, who was in the center of the extremely hot world, let out a painful and mournful howl. As a rank 7 true saint with tyrannical strength, it would be a joke if he were to die from the heat. But now, Bai Yuan really felt like he was going to die from the heat and be roasted dry. His divine power, his blood, everything in his body, including his soul, were all crazily roasted at this moment. This kind of roasting produced an unprecedented pain, not just in his divine body, and heart and soul. Bai Yuan only felt that he was suffering unprecedented torture. He has lived hundreds of thousands of years without this kind of torture. Jian Wushuang was also in this extremely hot world, but he was not affected by it. His eyes flashed with a fierce light as he looked at Bai Yuan, who was roaring and struggling crazily. This is an extremely hot hell, where everything is roasted and evaporated. Even a rank 7 true saint would suffer unprecedented pain and torture in this hell. With my current strength, I can last for 3 breaths in this hell. I don't know if Bai Yuan can last 3 breaths in this hell, Jian Wushuang thought. 3 breaths was a short time, but to Bai Yuan, it was a long time. He was in the extremely hot hell, and he was being roasted every second. The pain that could evaporate his entire god body and soul was too terrifying. 3 breaths passed. Buzz! The extremely hot hell disappeared, and the world returned to its calm state. Bai Yuan was still standing in the void, but at this moment, his entire body was drenched in sweat. He lowered his head and panted heavily, and his body was also slightly trembling. That 3 breaths of experience were definitely the most terrifying experience in his life. He had experienced it once, and even if he was beaten to death, he did not want to experience it again. Moreover, 60% of his divine power had been evaporated in the extremely hot hell, and his soul had been severely injured. Especially the fear in his heart, he had yet to completely recover. Heavenly Sword Marquis, I'm more and more impressed by you. A rank 4 true saint actually has such an incredible skill. Unfortunately, your secret skill is very terrifying, but your strength is still a little inferior. You can't fully unleash the power of this secret skill. Your move can't kill me. Bai Yuan raised his head, staring at Jian Wushuang. A sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang gave a strange smile and said, Bai Yuan, it's too early for you to be happy. Ah! Bai Yuan's face changed. I forgot to tell you that the secret skill I just displayed is divided into 3 levels. The extremely hot hell you just experienced is only the first level. Now you can try the second level of the secret skill. Jian Wushuang smiled. Immediately, a large amount of divine power surged up crazily. The divine power also converged into a sea of divine power. Moreover, the divine power Jian Wushuang used this time was obviously much more vast than when he used the extremely hot hell. It was more than 3 times as vast. The second level of Hell Dao, the extremely cold hell. Buzz! The divine power in the sky was instantly exhausted. Space and time in this vast world instantly froze. It was extremely cold. Under this terrifying coldness, a large amount of mist rose from the void. Crack! Crack! Soft sounds rang out one after another. When the people outside the battlefield saw it, they could not help but widen their eyes. These soft cracking sounds were the sounds of the void being frozen, and then exploding. How could such a stable space in the divine beginning world be frozen to the point of cracking? How cold was this? In the center of the extremely cold hell, Bai Yuan's eyes were wide open. He had been maintaining this posture, but his divine body had been completely frozen into an ice sculpture. Not just his divine body. The blood in his body had also been completely frozen, and even his real soul had been frozen into a frozen state. Jian Wushuang stood in front of Bai Yuan and blew lightly. With a sound like glass breaking, Bai Yuan's divine body directly shattered and turned into ice chips. He did not recombine his divine body immediately. In just a moment, this powerful rank 7 true saint was turned into ashes. Seeing this scene, even Jian Wushuang was quite excited. He looked at his right hand. On the back of his hand, there was an ancient golden character. When Jian Wushuang had just used the secret skill, the golden character also emitted a dazzling light, which made Jian Wushuang use the secret skill. Its power had increased a lot. And this golden character was the origin of the 6 Paths of Reincarnation secret skill. 6 Paths of Reincarnation? This secret skill is too terrifying. Jian Wushuang exclaimed. 6 Paths of Reincarnation, 6 secret skills. He had only mastered the first move, Hell Dao. However, Hell Dao was divided into 3 levels. He had just used the first and second levels of extremely hot hell and extremely cold hell. The power of the extremely hot hell was weaker, but the extremely cold hell was extremely terrifying. Jian Wushuang was only barely able to use the extremely cold hell. Once he used it, even a rank 7 true saint would not be able to resist and would be frozen to death. However, Jian Wushuang knew very well that the most terrifying part of the 3 levels of Hell Dao was the final 3 levels. The 3rd level was called the Solitary Hell. That was a truly nightmarish skill, but unfortunately, he had yet to master the 3rd level. Chapter 3150 was sensational, The first Hell Dao is so powerful. I wonder what the other 5 Daos will do. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands, full of expectation. After killing Bai Yuan and picking up the interspatial ring left by him, Jian Wushuang immediately left. It only took him 25 breaths to kill Bai Yuan, and it took the Purple Cloud Pavilion experts 5 breaths to arrive. That was enough time for Jian Wushuang to leave. After Jian Wushuang left, the experts of the Winter Snow Kingdom were in an uproar. Lord Bai Yuan was killed. Heavenly Sword Marquis, he really killed Lord Bai Yuan. He is a rank 7 true saint. King. Many people looked at the middle-aged man in luxurious clothes, King of Winter Snow Kingdom. The Winter Snow King was also very excited. Apparently, he had not fully recovered from the scene. After a while, he took a deep breath and immediately looked at a true saint next to him. Did you record the fierce battle between Heavenly Sword Marquis Lord Bai Yuan? Yes. That true saint replied. That's good. The experts from the Purple Cloud Pavilion will arrive soon. We only need to show them the mirror image. Heavenly Sword Marquis is too strong. We are not weak at all. Lord Bai Yuan's death is not our fault. The Winter Snow King said in a low voice. Also, we have to announce the mirror image. Announce it completely? The people around were stunned. That's right. The divine beginning realm is extremely cruel. It's not that easy for an expert to rise up. And this Heavenly Sword Marquis, his talent is too terrifying. His potential is limitless. And for such a genius with such great potential, he will more or less be envied and ostracized by some people. As long as we announce this mirror image, many experts of the divine beginning realm, including some high and mighty principles masters, will most likely pay attention to him. It's not a good thing to be the center of attention, the Winter Snow Kingdom said with a cold smile. Soon, the Winter Snow Kingdom released the mirror image. In the past 60 years, the battle between Jian Wushuang and the Purple Cloud Pavilion for the first heaven was very fierce, and it had become a hot topic among many cultivators. Although it was a topic, it did not cause much of a stir. However, after the Winter Snow Kingdom released the mirror image of the battle between Jian Wushuang and Bai Yuan, the first heaven, including the third heaven, could no longer remain calm. After all, Jian Wushuang had killed a rank 7 true saint. Abnormal, this is too abnormal. Where did this Heavenly Sword Marquis come from? It was already unbelievable that he could kill a rank 6 peak true saint with a rank 4 true saint. But now, he actually killed a rank 7 true saint. That's a rank 7 true saint. In the first heaven, the strongest person in many forces is only a rank 7 true saint. There are many geniuses in the divine beginning realm. For example, the heaven-cleaving 3 palaces, the Tao Palace, and the Temporal Temple all have many top geniuses. Some of them are extremely dazzling, but I've never heard of anyone who could kill a rank 7 true saint with a rank 4 true saint. If Jian Wushuang doesn't die, his future achievements will be unimaginable. Jian Wushuang monster. All the experts in the third heaven who heard about this and saw the mirror image were shocked by Jian Wushuang's battle strength. The words Jian Wushuang resounded throughout the third heaven in a very short time. One monster, great pervert. All the names were addressed to Jian Wushuang. In the vast chaotic void, Mo Shan, the three-eyed man, and the blue-haired woman were sitting together. In the void in front of them, there was a huge mirror image, which was the mirror image of the fierce battle between Jian Wushuang and Bai Yuan. Haha, I knew that Heavenly Sword Marquis might give me a surprise. He really gave me a big surprise. Mo Shan stroked his white beard and laughed heartily. More than 100 years ago, when Jian Wushuang was trapped in the mystic realm of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance by the Heart Witch, Mo Shan had been looking forward to Jian Wushuang. He knew that since Jian Wushuang refused his help, he must be confident that he could deal with this situation. As expected, 90 years later, Jian Wushuang hired Dao Dragon at a great price. In addition, he killed the Heart Witch and the others with his battle strength, which was enough to defeat a rank 6 true saint. At that time, he was very excited. Now 60 years later, Jian Wushuang had killed a rank 7 true saint directly. This Heavenly Sword Marquis is indeed a bit too heaven-defying. The three-eyed man also said in a low voice. There are many geniuses in the heaven-cleaving three palaces. Although this time there aren't many dazzling geniuses. In history, there have been incredible geniuses in the heaven-cleaving three palaces. For example, the super genius remnant king 8 million years ago was a complete monster. He could also kill a rank 6 true saint with rank 4 battle strength. If he met a weaker rank 6 peak true saint, he could also kill him if he was lucky. The reason why Remnant King's battle strength is so strong is that he is a special life form, and he has a high comprehension of the principles under the careful cultivation of the heaven-cleaving three palaces. He also has a supreme treasure in terms of attack. However, Heavenly Sword Marquis, without the careful cultivation of the major forces, only relied on himself to obtain opportunities and treasures to grow. In the end, his battle strength is much more terrifying than that of Remnant King. It's really shocking. The three-eyed man was, after all, a principles master, so he had high expectations. He had lived for a long time, and had seen many amazing geniuses, but none of them were comparable to Jian Wushuang. Do you think Heavenly Sword Marquis is also a special life form? Emoshan suddenly asked. Definitely, the three-eyed man said with certainty. He is definitely a special life form, and he must be one of the top ones. Otherwise his divine power wouldn't be so powerful. Yeah, I think so too. Emoshan nodded slightly. But even if he is a special life form, to be able to have such combat strength is already very impressive. Moreover, his opportunities are indeed abundant. Looking at this scene, the reason why he was able to kill the rank 7 true saint of the Purple Cloud Pavilion was because of the secret technique he used at the end. And that secret technique, if I'm not mistaken, is the secret technique he comprehended under the Black God Pillar of the heaven-cleaving mystic realm, the 6 paths of reincarnation. His battle strength is obviously similar to that rank 7 true saint, but he used this secret technique and easily killed that rank 7 true saint. The secret technique in the Black God Pillar is really amazing. Chapter 3151. Recognition. Emoshan and the three-eyed man both sighed in admiration at the might of the 6 paths of reincarnation secret technique. At the same time, both of them felt a trace of envy in their hearts. Such a powerful secret technique was something that even the principles masters yearned for. But unfortunately, they did not have the opportunity. The blue-haired woman was the only one who had been staring at the scene with a solemn expression. Emoshan, the blue-haired woman finally spoke. You only paid attention to the last secret skill of Heavenly Sword Marquis. Didn't you notice the many secret skills he used from the beginning? What secret skill? Emoshan and the three-eyed man looked over. Oh, it's the huge golden emperor phantom behind him, and the dark gold armor on his body. The green-haired woman pointed at Jian Wushuang in the picture. Emoshan and the three-eyed man immediately looked over, but they did not see anything at first. The golden emperor phantom and the dark gold armor on his body should be secret skills that he used. These 2 secret skills have greatly enhanced his divine power. But such secret skills are not rare in the divine beginning world, right? Emoshan asked. This type of secret technique isn't rare, but the 2 secret techniques that Heavenly Sword Marquis used are much rarer, the green-haired woman said. What do you mean? Emoshan asked. Don't keep us in suspense. Just tell us what you've seen, the three-eyed man urged. You too, you've both lived for millions of years. You've lived for tens of millions of years. Your knowledge is extraordinary. I think you've all heard of the 7-star mysterious sect. The green-haired woman said seriously. 7-star mysterious sect? Emoshan and the three-eyed man were shocked. The 7-star mysterious sect was once the overlord of the divine beginning realm. It's the oldest and strongest sect. Of course, the 2 of us have heard of it, Emoshan said. Although the 7-star mysterious sect had been destroyed for many years, and had not been mentioned for many years, as the masters of the rules, they were qualified to know some of the secrets of the divine beginning realm. As for the 7-star mysterious sect, of course, they had heard of it. It is said that when the 7-star mysterious sect was at its peak, even the 3 great saint domains could not compare to it. Only when the 3 great saint domains joined hands would they have the right to compete with the seven-star mysterious sect? Although our heaven-cleaving alliance is now the #1 free alliance in the divine beginning realm, our strength and foundation are extremely powerful. If we were to fight against one great saint domain alone, we could easily gain the upper hand. However, once the two great saint domains join hands, I'm afraid that our heaven-destroying alliance would not be able to defeat them. If the three great saint domains join hands, even our heaven-cleaving alliance would have no choice but to retreat. At its peak, the seven-star mysterious sect could contend against the three great saint domains at the same time. The three-eyed man's voice was a little agitated. They had all heard some legends about the seven-star mysterious sect. They were also filled with yearning for such an ancient and powerful super sect. But unfortunately, this sect was destroyed many years ago. The three-eyed man sighed softly. Biyun, we are talking about the heavenly sword marquis. Why are you talking about the seven-star mysterious sect? Could it be that this little guy has something to do with the seven-star mysterious sect? Emo-shan looked at the green-haired woman. I don't know whether it has something to do with him or not, but I know that the secret technique that the heavenly sword marquis used came from the seven-star mysterious sect, the green-haired woman said. What? Emo-shan and the three-eyed man were shocked. Baiyin, are you sure? Emo-shan immediately asked. I'm sure. The green-haired woman nodded. I've studied the seven-star mysterious sect for a period of time, and I know that the seven-star mysterious sect had 5 strongest secret techniques at their peak. I've also seen the mirror images of some of the seven-star mysterious sect's experts using these 5 secret techniques. I can be sure that among the secret techniques that Heavenly Sword Marquis used, the huge golden emperor phantom behind him is one of the 5 great secret techniques of the seven-star mysterious sect, the Heaven Punisher. As for the dark golden armor that appeared on his body, it was one of the 5 great secret arts of the seven-star mysterious sect, the 9 luminary star armor. Also, you should have noticed that when he was fighting with the rank 7 true saint from the Purple Cloud Pavilion, at first, the divine power aura he emitted was only at the peak of rank 4. But later on, his aura suddenly increased and reached the level of a rank 5 true saint. He obviously used secret art that could increase his realm in a short period of time. And this secret art should be one of the 5 great secret arts of the seven-star mysterious sect, the seven-star secret art. Among the 5 strongest secret techniques of the seven-star mysterious sect, the Heavenly Sword Marquis cultivated 3 of them. Do you think he has any relationship with the seven-star mysterious sect? The green-haired woman looked at Emo-shan and the three-eyed man. This. Emo-shan and the three-eyed man looked at each other with a trace of shock in their eyes. If I'm not wrong, he must have been lucky and obtained the ancient inheritance of the seven-star mysterious sect. Or he must have met a peak expert who survived the seven-star mysterious sect and became the disciple of that expert and learned these 3 secret techniques. But no matter what, he must have some connection with the seven-star mysterious sect, the green-haired woman continued. Originally, it was normal for a cultivator to be lucky enough to obtain the sect's inheritance or become a disciple of a top-tier expert. However, the seven-star mysterious sect is different. The seven-star mysterious sect is the public enemy of all the great factions in the third heaven. The 3 great saint realms, the 4 great divine clans, and the 8 directions celestial sect once joined hands to attack the seven-star divine realm. The seven-star mysterious sect was also destroyed because of this. Over a long period of time, the 3 great saint realm masters, in the 3 great saint realms, have been paying attention to the seven-star mysterious sect. Anyone who is related to the seven-star mysterious sect will be killed without mercy. And now, this Heavenly Sword Marquis has the 3 great secret arts of the seven-star mysterious sect, and the scene of him fighting with the rank 7 true saint from the Purple Cloud Pavilion has spread all over the third heaven. It's impossible for the 3 great saint realms not to notice it. Moreover, since I can recognize the secret arts that the Heavenly Sword Marquis used, it's impossible for the experts from the 3 great saint realms, who have a deeper relationship with the seven-star mysterious sect, not to recognize it. Wait, you mean Emoshan narrowed his eyes as he stared at the green-haired lady. You should be able to guess what the three great saint realms will do if they find out that the Heavenly Sword Marquis possesses the secret techniques of the 3-7-star mysterious sect. The green-haired lady said. A sharp glint shot out from Emoshan's eyes. Emoshan, don't be rash. The green-haired lady hurriedly said. I know that you admire the Heavenly Sword Marquis very much, but he is still one of the three great saint realms. I understand. Emoshan took a deep breath and nodded slightly. Don't worry, I know what to do. I don't dare to provoke the three great saint-level experts, but I need to remind that little fellow that the three great saint-level experts won't come and kill me directly, right? You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.